All right, it's Hump Day Rants with AOH, and I've got a full panel today and special guest, Phenomenal Fitness, known from here on as Phenomenon. Once again, we have Hoops God and Sports and Fitness Rants. Gentlemen, thanks for joining. How's everyone doing today?
Doing well.
Absolutely perfect, man. Another day to talk basketball and call out these flimsy narratives.
Yes, sir. You guys know the deal, baby. I'm ready to go as usual, man. Shout out to my man, Who God. Shout out to AOH. My man, Phenomenal, man. Yo, it's a pleasure having you, man, on here. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time we do a live together, man. So shout out to you. Much respect for coming through the live, man.
Appreciate
Yes.
it, man.
Yep, good to have you here. We finally connected. A lot of people write in the comments, "Hey, you and so should collab." Well, I've reached out to a lot of people. YouTube doesn't make it that easy to get a hold of people, but eventually we get there. So we got a lot of topics today. We're gonna let the viewers get here. We started right on time this time, and I'm gonna warm up today. We're gonna do something a little bit different because a lot of times I don't see the super chats, so I'm gonna read last week's super chats. And you guys want to give some shout outs to any of your supporters from your channels?
Well, thank you, AOH, for the opportunity, man. Shout out to Uncommon Sense, of course. Retro Heat Check. Lamont Avery, he's a new YouTuber coming up. You know, just all the guys that's just really been doing their thing out here. Of course, Boys and Fidget Rants is already on here. Hoops God is already on here. But those are the usual guys. Uncut Hoops, you know, Scap Attack, the usual suspects.
I'm gonna have Johnny on here one of these days, but I need to do the research properly. I've been too busy with the rest of LeBron's ridiculousness, but I gotta watch every one of those videos from beginning to end and look back at the DPOY.
Yeah, Johnny Arnett, cool people. I actually talked to him on X. I told him you was trying to reach out to him.
So last week, Thanos Snap Feminism gave $10. He says, I agree. LeBron closes games. He got closed out in a sweep in 3 different decades. That is crazy, by the way.
They don't talk about that for some strange
Dude,
reason.
that's crazy. Like, that alone should eliminate you from any conversation that even has respect.
But wait a minute, guys. Wait, watch this. 2007, he was too young. Okay.
Right.
2023, he's too old. Okay. Well, 2018, he didn't have enough help. So which one is it? Which is the opportune time? That's where I'm confused. So I always ask his fans, okay, so if you're going to tell me he's too young, got it. Don't tell me he's too old. You can't have it both ways. But that's all I hear. He's too young. He's too old. Doesn't have enough help. Well, okay. Well, clearly he does not need to be in the top 10. That's just me. I mean,
Well, Who's guy, this brings up another point. If you make your teammates better, how in the world, if you could take Plumbers to the finals, how you not winning it when you have superstars plus the Plumbers? I'm trying to figure that out. If you make the regular guys better, when you also elevate those superstars, I'm trying to figure that out because that's what they tell us. If he makes his teammates better, he purposefully, as Draymond Green would say, he purposefully makes his teammates better. How in the world are you not taking Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie, Kevin Love? These guys were in their prime. Now you could say, oh, Dwayne Wade was on his way out. Okay, what about Kyrie and Kevin Love? How do you not elevate them and win when you actually had the help? The complementary players, as you would say. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It'd be nice if Draymond ever backed anything up with some specifics, because LeBron's actually made every one of those superstars worse. Numbers wise. No, numbers wise, I think Kyrie is the only one who hung in the same area of where he had been performing previously.
But he never got better. He never got better. And the fact that you have to change your entire game to play with this guy, that's not making you better. And that's why I be trying to explain to these fanboys. I'm like, it's not just about getting yours or getting your statistics. When you make somebody better, we saw Jordan get 32, 8, and 8. So him dialing back his numbers, you actually allowing these other guys to shine helps, because now they don't have to just worry about you. They have to worry about Scotty. They have to worry about Paxton hitting the wide open three. They have to worry about Kerr. They have to worry about Dennis Rodman. They have to worry about all these different Luke Longley. He made him look like now we wouldn't even know who Luke Longley was. But because he allowed these other guys to get their shine on, that's what life is about anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm paying it for it. Like, you in Uncommon Sense help my channel out. So what am I doing? I'm going to help out Lamont Avery and Retro and all these other guys. It's paying it for it. You want to see other guys shine because iron sharpens iron. But this guy doesn't think like that. It's all about LeBron. Like, I posted that little interview. I remember you said something about that, about LeBron sucking his own D. Like, this dude sit here is like, I took 2 teams to 4 straight finals. Nobody's ever done that. I'm like, dude, you ran from Cleveland to join these guys because you knew you couldn't make it out. You couldn't make it out the weak East as it was.
I'm still
so
discovering.
Why are you crediting yourself?
I'm still discovering some of his past interviews that I haven't heard before, and it's blowing my mind. The self-gratification that guy gives. It's crazy the shit that comes out of his mouth.
What I noticed is this, right? For all of his fanboys to say, okay, he didn't have enough help, the front office let him down, blah, blah. Just whatever excuse you want, just throw it out there. Cool, awesome, great, perfect. Well, in 2011, he had his chance to prove himself right? He had a chance to show Dan Gilbert, my bad. Dan Gilbert, all the other ones in Cleveland, because they allegedly Cleveland would have had a horrible front office. But for some strange reason, that front office was able to get them 66 wins in back-to-back seasons. But I said, cool. So if you get to Miami, now you have everything readily available. You have a finals MVP, a proven champion, an Olympian that you went and played with in 2008, and Chris Bosh, a 2010 guy who finished 4th in PER, if I'm not mistaken, and they were all top 9 in scoring, and you had the other 2 best players in your conference, right? You're pretty much, you have a cakewalk. You have the cheesiest championship route, and then you just get obliterated by a Dallas Maverick team. Now,
hold on. Not to be the dick, but we can revisit his bullshit championships every show potentially because they're so bullshit. But let's get to today's topics. I have a feeling that's going to naturally come up anyway because we're going to compare Steph and LeBron today. Let me get through let me tell the listeners what the topics that we're going to try and get through are. The physical evolution of basketball players. Is that real or not? Has that really happened? Your favorite memory of that grand event when Durant won the Olympic MVP? Can someone be MVP if a team loses? The drug testing thing, Anthony Edwards not being able to shut his stupid mouth. Steph better than LeBron is the big one. Criticizing positive black men. Shame on you, Robin. And
I got accused of the same thing.
Goodness gracious. I love it.
I noticed,
we got all the hits today.
Wait, they don't say that about Darin Ham, though. I noticed
Playing all the
quiet.
hits.
They're quiet on Darin Ham, though, for some strange reason.
Pretty sure Michael Jordan's black.
Or Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
They talk all that cash about him as if he hasn't donated to the black community, employed more black CEOs than any other Fortune 500 company.
Thank you.
He done a lot.
Thank you.
He just don't broadcast it.
Yeah. Hey, Robin, last week, Cameron Pedersen gave you a super thanks during our live. Thoughts on Hakeem? I have Hakeem ranked higher than Duncan, Kareem, Shaq, Moses, etc. Only Wilt and Russell are ranked higher. I guess since that was last week, don't spend too much time on it, but I wanted to give that guy a shout out.
Oh, yeah, much respect. I didn't even know, sorry we don't get to you guys on the super chats, the super thanks and things of that nature. So, yeah, much respect. But, you can't really argue with what my man was saying, man, when it comes to Hakeem Olajuwon, man. You can make that argument that he's right behind a Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. You can argue he's up there with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the Moses Malones. He's greater than these guys. There's some people that have Hakeem Olajuwon as the greatest center of all time, man. And when you break it down, his overall impact on winning, what I'm saying, the runs that he went on, the teams that he was on, his overall skills on both sides of the ball. I mean, it really can't be denied, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hey guys, this one we won't spend too much time on, so I'll start with it. But this idea that everyone, the world has caught up, and the physical evolution of the basketball player. I went and I wanted to compare Serbia to Serbia 92 to 2024, but that's not possible because of worn, torn, that part of Europe and the breakup of Yugoslavia and etc. So back then, the Croatian gold team, I went through their roster and looked at their heights and weights, and then I looked at the current Serbian height and weight by comparison. You know that the Croatian team of 1992 actually outweighed 2024's team. They were bigger dudes in 1992.
Yeah, that makes sense. That all adds up because these are the kinds of things that we see on the video footage. These are the things that we allude to when they talk about the bigger, stronger, faster type players, of today's era. And then you relate it to the guys that were actually playing in the NBA or, like you said, playing in the Olympics back in these days. You had legit big men back in the day. Had legit 7-foot tall guys. Some of these guys were 7 foot plus. So, yeah, I believe that.
Last night.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go. Anybody with a college understanding of biology should understand this, how evolution works. You don't advance that fast. We don't see brand new humans walking around here today. We don't. You don't jump like that.
Nope.
The guys with the technology and understanding, you could study certain things and get an advantage. But as far as just being so far ahead, that's impossible. That's humanly impossible from a biological standpoint. So I don't know why they say this.
Well, nobody fucking uses the word evolution properly, but I appreciate that you are, because it is a physical response to your environment that takes place over thousands of years. Humans don't even have a good reason to adapt to their environment because we've been dominating for so long. We don't really face any obstacles. So that also is evidence that we wouldn't be evolving in that manner.
No, well, that's a great point, because I always ask these guys, who has came through the game of basketball that was more physically or more athletically gifted than Wilt Chamberlain? Nobody. Exactly. I asked them, who has came through the NBA that was of, I would say, of the athletic caliber of Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan? Maybe Vince Carter. I mean, it ain't too many. So when they make these statements, I think they just make a blanket statement because they don't even do the research. I mean, you could go back and look at Isaiah Thomas, right? There was a game that I want to say he jumped. Who did he jump? I think he had a jump ball with either Penny Hardaway or Grant Hill. It was one of those guys. And like he literally stole the jump pass. Like just his leaping ability. Like the way he can just get off the floor, just exceptionally quick. And I'm like, there's guys playing today that are athletically gifted, but they're not just so vastly superior from a lot of the top guys from the 80s and the 90s, and hell, even the 60s. I'm like, you just haven't watched footage, because a guy like Wilt that could literally run the 100-meter dash and Bill Russell running the 400-meter dash. I mean, they didn't have all these advanced opportunities in training and all these and shooting coaches, and they were just doing this off of raw talent. You put them in this era with the same coaching, with the same advantages, like, come on, man. We at some point, we just have to stop being disingenuous and just tell the truth. But I don't think it exists in their mind frame.
Robin, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, once again, who got out there educating the folks, man? And when we talk about the things that he was saying, we talk about someone like a Muggsy Bogues, for example. Think about how athletic you have to be in the NBA at the size that Muggsy Bogues was, man. You're talking about one of the great athletes in the history of the NBA, man. The shortest player in NBA's history to average a double-double in the NBA. And this man was able to get up and down the court. He was able to pressure the basketball like no one else could. He could get underneath these guys. He was a pest out there, someone like Muggsy Bogues. What we need to think about when people talk about the athleticism of the players of today and they talk about the bigger, stronger, faster, I think some of it has to do with how these guys are drafted today. So what I'm talking about is back in the day, a lot of these guys went to school for 3-4 years in college, so they developed, right? Now these guys are mostly drafted off of athleticism, off of the potential that they could probably be down the road. You think about someone like Giannis. It took him several years to once again develop because he was drafted at a young age based off of his potential down the road. A lot of the guys today, they do 1 year in college, they come into the NBA, and they're basing their whole skills and their games off of their athleticism. But what happens is once they get in the NBA, they don't develop the way they thought they would develop, i.e. a Ben Simmons. So when you think about how these guys are drafted today versus how they were drafted back in the days, you had to actually develop your skills, your fundamentals, right? The fundamentals in college over 3-4 seasons, right? And then come into the NBA. And you weren't necessarily being drafted off your athleticism or off your potential because you already showed the potential during those years in college. You were drafted off of your fundamentals and what you could do for the team, the role you would play.
The media has a lot to do with it. They're constantly telling us we've never seen anything like this guy before. I mean, I hear that all the time. But who's going to go and research it? I mean, as a fan, as someone looking to be entertained, you don't want to be constantly second guessing the media and be like, oh, I don't think that's true. But eventually they tell you that story enough times, you're going to lean toward thinking that it is true.
Yep.
Hoops God, you'd appreciate this. I was watching 1992 Bulls versus Suns, and the Suns had a guy named Oliver Miller that was about 300 pounds. Did you know that? I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I remember Oliver Miller.
So you guys, LeBron James getting the MVP was one of the most epic events that's happened in history. At least it seems to have been. And it once again rocketed him into the conversation about being better than Jordan. So I wanted to go back a couple of years and reflect on that epic moment when Kevin Durant won MVP in the Olympics. Wasn't that amazing? You guys, I'm sure that's etched into your memories because the media was talking about it constantly.
Damn
You know-
it.
Wait, can you educate us? Because I'm not
go
sure.
ahead.
When did they start giving out the MVP in the Olympics? Do you know the year that they started, which Olympics it was?
2000.
I got two answers. I got one article that said that it happened 4 times, but then the other one that actually listed the players only have 3. The first one was Ginobili in 2004, which means it was the year that LeBron entered the Olympics. And in my conspiratorial mind, oh, here's a chance to give LeBron James something he doesn't deserve. Let's introduce an MVP to the Olympics. What's LeBron do? Blows the Olympics, and Ginobili walks away with the MVP. But 2021, an American gets it. I bet you that's news to just about everybody. I bet you the only reason people even know about Kevin Durant's 2021 MVP is because of all the hype about LeBron's 2024 MVP. Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. I remember hearing something about it, but the thing was they didn't build it up. That didn't add to Kevin Durant's legacy. We didn't hear when he won it, oh, this is going to push him into the top 10 of all time. This is something that Michael Jordan, no other player has done. It hasn't been done since Manu Ginobili. So it lets us know, like, this is marketing one-on-one. I took marketing in college as well. With marketing, you hype up a lot of things. It's just like when they be like, oh, this is $200 value, but it's $19.99. That's basically what they're doing with this MVP award. They're adding more value to it than it is, and we already know the conspiracy because if y'all remember, I'm asking the panel, do y'all remember when they was telling us that LeBron's teammates voted him as the best player?
Right.
Coincidence?
Yeah.
And it turns out it wasn't even his teammates that did the voting.
Yeah.
It was it was the JV, the practice squad. Why would you leave that detail out? I'm not joking. But you wouldn't know because they left that fucking detail out.
Well, no, it's purposeful. It's called lying by omission. like when a detective knows that you know information and you withhold it, you're still lying. You're just omitting it. So that's what they're doing. And I see it across every one of these platforms. Like what is it? Cal Hurd and First Things First, and when Shannon Sharp was on Undisputed, they know these things, but they're not going to bring it to the forefront because it does not fit the narrative. So when I see that now, it's like, okay, so you're purposely lying to people just to push a narrative that it's still not going to make any progress, because when you have these quote unquote debates and when you lay the facts out, well, Michael Jordan still was like levels beyond him. That's why I keep asking, like, who made this a debate? Like, when did it even have any fruition whatsoever? I'm like, Michael Jordan has a whole Hall of Fame career separate from this man. Like, what are we talking about?
No, but he really does.
No, you're right.
He
You
does.
guys are right, man. No, listen, I didn't even know that Kevin Durant won the MVP award for the Olympics. I did not know that Manu Ginobili won it. I did not know there was an MVP award for the Olympics until this Olympics this season. I never even heard of that before. So I don't know if I'm out of touch with reality or whatever the case may be, but I knew nothing about these things. And like you guys said, the main part about it was that none of these things enhance these guys' legacies. I never remember anyone talking about this with Manu Ginobili. What I remember them saying is that Manu Ginobili led Argentina to the gold medal. That's what I remember them saying, the gold medal. Because when you play in the Olympics, it's supposed to be about the country. It's supposed to be about what's on your chest, the United States. It's not supposed to be about the individuals. And this is why Michael Jordan approached the 92 Dream Team in a different perspective. That wasn't the Chicago Bulls he was playing on. He was playing on the 92 Dream Team. So when you hear people talk about Michael Jordan wasn't the leader on the team, it was Charles Barkley who was the best player, and some of these things. Charles Barkley was excellent. But so is everybody else on the 92 Dream Team. There were no weak links. There were no people that, hey, he didn't have a good Olympics. No, they were all fantastic. Fantastic. Even Chuck Daly, who didn't call a single timeout because the man had swag.
And here's another thing, right? This is not a coincidence. How come they discontinued the MVP in 2008? For what particular reason? You know,
Everybody says because of Kobe.
I'm like, wait a minute. So y'all have
really?
MVP?
Oh, who got?
Yeah, they had an MVP in 2004, and then it got discontinued in 2008, right?
Well, yeah, because
Wow.
LeBron blew it. LeBron blew it, and they couldn't let him not get it again.
That's crazy, man. Yo, shout to Uncut Hoops. He's in the chat, man.
What up,
He says, how can you call it the Olympic MVP when you stop the voting before the tournament is over?
Well,
Exactly.
we're actually going to talk about the MVP next. So stick around, Uncut. I'm sure you'll have some insightful stuff. I did a response to all of this, and by the way, 5 days after the video was up and running, it got blocked because I put in this much extra Olympic footage on top of what Uncut had. Boom, dude, it's harsh right now with
That's crazy.
Hey, AOH, don't feel bad. I put a video up right after Steph Curry's epic performance, and they wouldn't even let me post it on TikTok. I still got the video. I guess I got to go back and tweak it some more. But I'm like, wait, so I can't even post this? I'm like, wow.
So I was gonna say the MVP seemed like it was predetermined to me.
It was
Like with the amount of glazing on LeBron James was just freaking crazy. And you know, I had to turn the sound off watching it, but you still knew because every time I looked at the screen, they were needlessly putting the camera on LeBron James. I'm like, well, God knows what the hell they're saying about him now. And so I did see a comment from a LeBroner that said, well, what if Team USA had lost? Couldn't have been scripted then. I'm like, well, in that case, they would change it. Like I'm sure in 2004, LeBron was supposed to get it and he blew it. Just like he was probably supposed to get further in the playoffs these last few years, but he can't do a goddamn thing in crunch time. So you got to switch it. But the question I really want to get to is, can you be MVP and not be on the winning team?
Unless your name is Jerry West, no. And I love Jerry West, by the way. I don't want anybody to misconstrue my statement in the comments because I know they will. I love Jerry West, but
well, I had to say this too. Who's guy Kareem? Kareem won the MVP when his team didn't make the playoffs. So that's another player.
No. I mean, not league.
Finals MVP.
For that tournament. Yeah. Whether just like a short period of games, like if it's the Olympics or the NBA Finals, something of that sort.
No, I don't think you should win the MVP because what are you valuing? Your value is based on what you produce. So if you are not contributing to wins, if you're not contributing to the ultimate goal, which is championships, I know these fanboys forget that, but if the ultimate goal is to win the championship, you must be valuable to that. Because if that's the case, why the Finals MVP isn't somebody that balled out in the first round? That would be ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you didn't even make it to the finals. Why are we giving this to you? It's based on the person who impacted the games the most in the biggest situation. That's how it should always be.
And if I can
Well,
follow up to that, you can only be valuable if your team wins, right? Because your team can lose without you. So yeah, that's why
Exactly.
I feel like you have to be on the winning team, and you have to have the most outstanding performance as well.
And
well, of
and, and
course,
and and to bounce off of what you said, like Gilbert Arenas, look at the numbers he was putting up. I remember Gilbert Arenas when he was on the cover of Live. I remember how he was balling out. He was putting up these numbers, but it didn't result in victories. Russell Westbrook was putting up triple doubles, but it didn't result in victories. We remember Oscar Robertson was Mr. Triple Double before then, but it didn't result in championships. So there's lots of guys, and these are greats, but there's been guys that we probably done forgot about that I can mention that put up phenomenal numbers. Isaiah Thomas, not the original Isaiah Thomas, but
Yeah,
the Boston Celtics. But they did not result in There's lots of guys that can put up phenomenal stats, but if you're not getting the end result, that doesn't put you in greatness conversations. It's about elevating those around you and bringing y'all to the promised land. That's what puts you in that top 10. There's no top 10 player. There should never be a top 10 player that does not elevate his teammates and win championships. I don't know any top 10 list that doesn't have somebody that has multiple championships.
so of course, Hoops God, the historian, did know the Jerry West example. That happened in the NBA once, where the team did not win the finals and someone else got the MVP. It happened once in football, and it happened once in baseball too. Like back in I think it was like 69 and 71. And that's it. That's it. But Jokic, according to numbers, if we were going to go strictly by numbers and whether or not the team was absolutely nothing without him, if we were going to play by those rules, Jokic would have been the MVP of the Olympics.
exactly. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because that's what I keep hearing from this fan base. Well, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I'm like, wait a minute, wait, time out. What other MVP caliber does Jokic have? And he led the entire tournament, right? So
Right.
which criteria is it? Because I'm lost. Like I'm lost.
Whichever criteria serves LeBron.
Oh, okay.
The glue, which, by the way, by the time I finish my video breaking down Serbia and France, it's taking forever. Oh my God, I am humiliating that bozo. He is no glue, I'll tell you that much.
So if memory serves me right, Kevin Durant, when he came back against, was it Puerto Rico? Was he not the difference maker in that game? And then when they played South Sudan the second time, he pretty much was the difference maker.
Oh yeah.
And then Steph Curry literally saved Team USA in 2 elimination rounds. I'm really like, to me, I like the young kids say, the math isn't mathing. It's like, wait a minute. The guy that literally just stole the show and put on a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson-esque performance is not the MVP.
The math is mathing like you're at the LeBron James Promise School.
I mean, listen, I think when you guys are talking about the MVPs in the Olympics, I think the Olympics might be an exception to the rule as far as winning or not winning and winning the MVP. You guys gave some examples of some of the guys like a Jokic that was balling out. But let's say something like the South Sudan team. Let's say the South Sudan team goes on a run, right? And they got some guy on that team that's balling out. And he leads this team to the gold medal match, South Sudan, right? As an underdog country, right? A country, mind you, that they said has no outdoor or indoor basketball courts at their country. If somehow they would be able to be led by a player to the gold medal match against the United States, for example, and maybe not win that game, but put up a good contested match, i.e. a Jerry West against the juggernaut Celtics, then maybe you could qualify somebody's getting an MVP. But everything you guys are saying is pretty much spot on, because, more often than not, when you're talking about an MVP player, you're talking about a guy who led his team to the promised land, whatever that would be.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Kevin Durant got the MVP because he saved Team USA. They were down. Dame was struggling, so KD just said, "Hey, give me the ball, get out my way." To me, that's justifiable. So I'm trying to understand. Well, Steph Curry literally did the same thing, but he did it in a more impressive way. But y'all give the MVP to somebody else who only put up 2 points in the fourth quarter? Okay.
Hey, I actually spotted a super chat for a change. This says, God damn it.
Oh,
Too small.
You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
It was yo, my man Speed Engine sends us a super chat. Yo, shout out to Speed, man. It was a whole story when LBJ led the NBA in assists in 2020. People can't even say who led the league. I also hate I have to pay more to say more.
Hey, bro, not Richard Jefferson. You are welcome to call in, sir. I'll put in the here. I'll put in the link right now.
He's funny, man.
You know, I want to go on to Anthony Edwards for a little bit, and God, I feel like by the time I even spit this out, he's going to say something dumb again. It was the disrespect one I just heard this morning, just saying people weren't talented except for Michael Jordan. And what did he preface that with? I didn't really watch it, but I know that they weren't good.
he said initially that he said that they say it was tougher back in them days when Michael Jordan played. They say it was tougher back in those days. But he said that there was no one who had skill other than Michael Jordan back in that day. And he said that's why when Kobe Bryant came in, everybody was like, oh my God, look at this. And once again, I did a video this earlier, man. So go ahead, AOH.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I'm going to play the audio for you, though. I found the audio of him talking about the drug testing. Hopefully, you guys will be able to hear it on the speakers. If not, I'll do it.
Hey, real quick, AOH, can you block this one guy, Young World?
Oh God,
I don't want him to get the platform dinged.
How far back is he?
Okay,
I found him.
Okay, yeah. I said it was at 1458.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that later.
Block user. All right, so let me play Anthony Edwards. What the hell does he mean, a drug test or something? Do you know what happened? Or do you not?
And I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay. So he says, you know, they had us do this thing. What do you call it? Like he couldn't even, and then someone else said it for him, a drug test. He goes, yeah, a drug test. I mean, I think he was high during this. He couldn't even put the words together, drug test. And then he goes, yeah, we couldn't really even enjoy celebrating because we had to like go take a drug test or something. And he was so vague. Like, I don't even know if we should spend this much time on it because I feel like we're going to find out that it wasn't even a drug test. Like, what do you mean like a drug test or something? How do you not know by the time it's over what happened?
So they only drug tested 3 of them?
Well, according to him. So, I mean, that by itself is a topic, but like to hear him talk now, I don't even know if he knows what he's talking about.
I just saw him super chatting there, man.
Okay.
Go ahead. Listen, man. That's listen. The crazy thing with Anthony Edwards is, man, he don't know when to shut up. It seems he's like that dude that you know that just never shuts up. You can't tell him nothing. He's gonna run his mouth. He can't keep a secret. This man, Anthony Edwards, is always talking. First of all, he should never be talking about who else is being tested, man. If he wants to talk about what's going on with him, then you talk about yourself. But he's throwing out Steph Curry's name. He's throwing out Kevin Durant's name.
Thank you.
It's like, to me, the whole thing is just ridiculous, man. Just shut your mouth, man, and stop talking about stuff, man. Because once again, like you said, he didn't even know what he's talking about. He comes off to me as a very unintelligent person, man, that doesn't really know how to speak in public, man. Just shut up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he kind of was doing better than a lot of the guys. I mean, the bar has been lowered so badly that if they don't make a complete ass of themselves at this point, I'm like, oh, good job. But now he's making an ass of himself. And on top of you're so right. I thought the same thing. Don't bring other people's names into this. If they want to complain about it, that's up to them. But also, it sounds like he was whining about his celebration being interrupted. Like, oh my God, your tough life. Did you see how long they were out there crooning to the cameras and posing and putting the gold in their mouths and dancing around? And then they went to the nightclubs. I'm like, oh my God, you had to go get drug tested for 5 minutes in between your nonstop party that is your life. You whiny piece of trash.
And that brings up another point. And I watched your video, Sports and Fitness, right? I actually was watching it while I was working out this morning. Got
Oh,
up at
much
that 4
respect.
a.m. and I enjoyed it. But you're right. Like the guys before, this is why I said if you put these guys that did not have this advanced technology, if you
Mhm.
put them in today's NBA and you allow them to have all these things, they're going to advance. Now imagine if LeBron James loses that hyperbolic time chamber. Imagine these dudes couldn't function within the bubble. They were about to lose their minds in the bubble because they didn't have the luxuries that they're used to, even though they had massages and all that. Now put them back in the 60s when you don't have any of those luxuries. These dudes will go crazy. They're not going to be able to function with these advanced things that they have. The players back then were able to do that in Chuck Taylors. So for
Word,
them to
yo,
sit there
word.
and disrespect these dudes that had to have part-time jobs, and they already made this point on Gil's Arenas as well. Like these dudes, the fact that they were able to be as great as they were, even with something else, when you couldn't focus 100% on basketball, just imagine if you put them in today where they have all these things and that can be their full-time job to
Yeah.
provide for their family, they would excel.
And I want to follow up
Yo, good
that
job
point.
right there, man.
Yeah, and
Word.
I want to follow up that point as well because this is something that I have to I have to continue to instruct this into these small-minded basketball talkers out here. They'll try to talk down on Bob Cousy and talk down on Jerry West and just all those guys, right? And I always have to bring this to the table. Like you do realize that they were not allowed to dribble the ball in the way in which they can dribble today. I said, go look at Isaiah Thomas. If he would even remotely put his hand on the side of that basketball, he would be called for either carrying or cuffing the ball. I said, contrast it to what they're doing today. I said, you don't think Bob Cousy could dribble the same way James Harden, all these guys dribble? I said, he'll tell you who he learned basketball from. I mean, they called the man the Houdini of the hardwood. So he had to dribble with his hand on top of the ball. Now, granted, outside of the NBA, I'm pretty sure he was doing all the flashy things he was doing because they can't call everything. I said, but you got to understand, they were playing within the confines of their rules. You allow them to play with the rules of today, they're going to be just as great. You can't convince me otherwise because, again, like y'all said, you take those guys, put them back in that area when they can't cuff the ball, they can't take 6 steps, they can't just take 3 steps going to the goal to dunk. And I mean, no, we're going to see your fundamentals on display now. And I'm sorry, like just the way the game is today, it's certain guys I can watch, like Jokic and all those guys and Curry, but it's other ones I just can't stomach it. It's like, what is this? This is not basketball.
Yeah, I'm putting together a compilation. It takes a while when you're doing the compilation, but I've been enjoying the old games, and some of the things that the refs were calling is amazing compared to what the guys are getting away with now. All you have to do is look at that and look at now and not be able to actually believe they're more skilled. They aren't playing by the rules, and they aren't playing by the rules even closely. So you can't even have the conversation. Hey, let me read the super chat before I forget.
Okay, go ahead.
So how can Sir Flop-A-Lot be the MVP and he was not the best player in the Olympics? What are we doing? Well, I don't know. It depends who you ask. I'm sure Chris Broussard will raise the conversation that maybe he was the best player in the Olympics.
It's all agenda driven. That's what we're doing. It is agenda driven. When and I mentioned this in one of my videos, but and when Michael Jordan left, we all us that were alive during that time. I know I was a child, but I remember a lot of things. I remember the NBA ratings dropped.
Yep.
The NBA was when he retired in 1993 and in 1998. The ratings dropped both times.
Yep.
So they were in a scramble to get somebody. They were pushing Kobe. They were just throwing rocks. They were trying to get Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway. They were looking for that next face. Even Shaq. When LeBron came, they've been, and I remember them when I was a kid because he was more close to my age group. So I remember them covering him like that. They were pushing him back then to already be the next Michael Jordan. Even at 14, 15, 16 years old, they were pushing him like that. So this whole thing was orchestrated. They brought Michael Jordan back to kind of stabilize things. And then they brought in LeBron James. So by any means necessary, they're going to make sure This man fulfills his destiny. They're going to do it. It doesn't matter. He fails in 27. If he beats this team in 2017, he's going to be the greatest. He fails. If he beats this team in 2018 with this team, then he's going to be the greatest. He fails. They keep moving the goalposts every single year. This man fails. They will find a way. So he gets bounced in the first round. The thing they clown Michael Jordan for in his earlier years. The thing they clown Michael Jordan for in his early years when he didn't have a top 10 player on his team. This dude has a top 10 player on his team, and he's getting bounced in the first round. Where's the laughs? Where's the ridicule? You fanboys, it's funny to me how y'all can bring up Michael Jordan, who didn't have another all-time great with him. But LeBron James, who's still playing like he's 25 years old, according to y'all, who's still a top 10 player, according to y'all. This man gets bounced in the first round, and yet y'all find another way to elevate him as the GOAT by saying he won the Olympic MVP.
Well, there's a few.
That's an award that's given every year.
There's a few good points in there. You know what the answer is when he gets bounced in the first round, and it's terrible if it happens to Jordan, but LeBron can have it happen to him all the time. Then they come back with, well, he's 39. Yeah, but y'all are saying that he's still one of the best players in the league, or they're saying he is the best player, which of course isn't true. But if you're saying that, then you're also eliminating the 39 excuse. It doesn't matter if he's 39. If you honestly believe that he's playing at that high of a level, then he shouldn't be losing. And secondly, I keep losing him. I'm not doing that to you on purpose.
It's all good.
Oh,
it's all good. Yeah. So what's the point? I'm trying to figure out. Y'all say that's why he rests on defense. Y'all tell us that's why he's taking the load management and all these different things to rest up for the playoffs, right? He's saving himself so he can still be that great player that y'all say that he is. So why is he getting bounced in the first round? He's a top 10 player. He's resting. He's saving himself for the playoffs. So why is he not performing at a high level in the playoffs? Because y'all clowning Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't have an Anthony Davis when he was with the Washington Wizards, but y'all still hold that against him. So why can we not hold that against LeBron James?
He had Popeye Jones,
another top 10 player. He's supposed to be doing something that nobody's ever done at this age. Yet y'all don't hold that against him.
But you know what else you said that made me, or you said it in a way that made me think, by the time they decided on LeBron, they were sick of the failed attempts. You know, they had the guys that got hurt. You know, Penny got hurt. Grant Hill got hurt. Kobe had the rape scandal or whatever you want to say, or the battle between him and Shaq kind of ruined that.
Yeah.
You're right. They were just like, we're done. We're going to put all of our money into marketing and make sure that people think this is the GOAT, no matter what happens.
Yep.
So I wanted to follow up on what you were saying about this whole agenda with LeBron James, which when you look how everything lines up, I mean, it's really not hard to understand what you're saying. Prime example. Now, what is Michael Jordan's draft year into the league? 1984, right? When is LeBron James born? 1984. Michael Jordan, you know, he subsequently retires in 2003. Well, who gets drafted that year? LeBron James, right? So they had this lined up for a while. The only difference is they did not expect the machine that Nike put in, like I would say all of their marketing, all their finances and resources they put into Michael Jordan. They did not realize that it was going to take off to the extent that it did. And I think Michael Jordan exceeded the expectations, right? So now they're looking for the next guy. And yeah, like Penny, he gets hurt. Grant Hill gets hurt. Kobe Bryant, as far as the measurables, the mentality, and the play style and the appeal, yes, he came the closest to Michael Jordan. But no, that's not the guy they wanted, because Kobe was not a brown noser to the media in so many words. I know y'all military, so y'all catch on to what I'm saying. Now, I always tell this to these people. They don't understand this. David Stern was a capitalist, okay? A capitalist is always going to make sure that he does what's best for business. So even though Michael Jordan retires, that was not a part of David Stern. He did not want Michael Jordan to retire. And like Phenomenal Fitness said, those ratings took a horrible dip that he had to come back. He had to. He didn't have a choice. So Michael Jordan did the deal. He came back. He was supposed to get the ownership of the Wizards. That fell through. Hey, we just have to take an L for that. But no, LeBron James, yes, they've been trying their best to like put him on this wavelength to say, yeah, he's Michael Jordan. And see, this is what I'm looking at, right? What did he say in 2016? I'm chasing that ghost in Chicago. So what is the ghost? The championships, the 6 finals MVPs, the 10 scoring titles. Okay. He can't get there. So now what do they have to do? Oh, well, he went to 8 straight finals. Nobody talks about Jerry West going to 9. But wait, watch it again. So not only does he fail with the championships, he fails with the appearances. Now he can't catch Michael Jordan. So what do they have to do again? The goalpost has to get moved to nobody's doing this at 42. He's about to catch Kareem. Well, Michael Jordan was never touted for the longevity achievements. He even said that in the sit down. He said, if I wanted to play for the stats, I would have never retired the first time. So now that he knows he can't catch Michael Jordan, he has to move that goalpost again to what? The longevity accumulative totals. And I hate that because I feel like that takes the esteem off the other guys like Tim Duncan, most blocks in the playoffs. That's an incredible feat. Hakeem Olajuwon, most blocks in the regular season, incredible feat. Magic Johnson, most assists in the playoffs. See, those guys did it the traditional way. They weren't out there, oh, I just want to get my stats up. So now it's like, okay, I have to remove those guys. And when I'm speaking on this particular individual, because we know what he's doing, he's just out here chasing to get empty stats because he failed to catch Michael Jordan in 6 finals. He failed to catch Kobe in 7 finals. He failed to catch Magic in 9 finals. And hell, he failed to catch Bill Russell in 10 finals. So what other criteria can you use now except for what? Empty, hollow, meaningless stats. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, Philosopher Stoned, I see you waiting. I'm going to let you come on. I want to tell the listeners, we still have upcoming comparing Steph to LeBron. That's our main topic. We haven't even gotten to it yet. We're going to talk about criticizing positive black men. Some of the things, if you're just tuning in, that we already covered was Anthony Edwards and his multiple stupid comments, drug testing, the MVP, and the physical evolution of basketball. And hey, Robin, you've been quiet. You're being super polite. Are you waiting to say something?
No. You guys were out there spitting your fire out there, man. I was letting you guys go off, man. You know, listen, all you guys think, all the things you guys were saying, man, it all leads back to me, the mentality of a lot of the players of today, man. That's what's really changed, the mentality of these guys. They don't have the mental fortitude of a lot of the guys from back in the day, man.
Philosopher, you are on.
Hey man, what's going on, y'all?
What's up,
Hey.
man?
What's good, man?
Just one day at a time. Just wanted to say, well, I mean, the Edwards thing speaks for itself. I mean, man, that guy's an idiot. But no, I mean, the main thing that I wanted to hear about from you guys a little bit is more about, or AOH, if you ever get a chance, man, please make a video on Steve Kerr and how much of a fraud this guy really is. Because if you just look at his career, it's crazy. This guy is a fraud, man.
Well, I included Steve Kerr in my video yesterday, just talking about purchasing people. I included him. I mean, it's not a full expose on Steve Kerr, but I am definitely disappointed. I'm definitely disappointed.
Yeah,
thank you.
I had my suspicions on Steve Kerr when he went the way that he got that job because they were on an upward trajectory. It's kind of like what happened with the Buccaneers, like how you just take somebody that has upward momentum and then you just replace them with someone else. This hasn't happened in NFL, and I'm not, I don't like to bring race into things a lot of times, but when it's obvious, it's there. John Gruden takes away the job of a black coach. Steve Kerr takes away a job of a black coach. When it applies, it applies. And this is what happens. These guys were not failing. It would have been one thing if the Golden State Warriors were failing or the Buccaneers were failing. But when you're doing your thing and you're actually building something, he had them playing defense at a high level. He told us that they were a great shooting team. And this dude hasn't got a job since. Mark Jackson hasn't got a job since. Like, this is ridiculous. And the truth always gets revealed. What happened with John Gruden and the Raiders? The truth always gets revealed, whether that person is qualified or not. You took a team that was already made, that was already had that upward momentum, and you get all the credit and shine for something that somebody else built. I really didn't respect it. Even now, I just don't. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it was sad what they did to the Raiders team. That coach, Dell, God damn it, what's his name? But in that case, because that was when they had Carr and they went on that unlikely run, and then Carr got hurt. Jesus, shame on me for not being able to say the coach's name. But that was a white coach replacing a white coach in that case. And let's see, what about Doug Collins? Doug Collins was improving the Bulls when Phil Jackson took over. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying it can't be. It's not always the case.
Yeah.
I would like to. Do you guys have any idea what's going on with Mark Jackson not being able to get hired again?
Well, this is just what I'm seeing from the outside looking in. Mark Jackson is not one of their particular favorites, if y'all get what I'm saying. So when you don't want to play the game that they want you to play, well, they will, they'll semi blacklist you, because I'm really trying to understand how on earth does a podcaster by the name of JJ Redick, that has no coaching background whatsoever, can get a coaching job at the most storied franchise in the NBA's history. Now, we know who played a hand in it. I got it. And AOH, this is going to segue into your next topic. I hear all of this begging and pleading about a man of color, but yet Mark Jackson did not even get an opportunity to coach that team. Sam Cassell didn't get an opportunity to coach this team. Hell, Rajon Rondo has a higher basketball IQ than JJ Redick. He doesn't get an opportunity to run this team. I mean, something ain't adding up. So when it comes to Mark Jackson, his strong Christian values, right, is diametrically opposite of what the NBA tries to promote. So they can't have a prominent voice like that on the sideline that's not echoing the narratives and the agendas that they want to put out there. That's just me looking from the outside in.
Somos, thank you for saying Jack Del Rio, the coach of the Raiders at that time.
Yeah, that was him, Jack Del Rio.
YT Hoops has joined us. What you got to
What's
say?
up, guys? How you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Not much. I just got a couple things. So Anthony Edwards, I think he's a yapper, right? He's a classic immature yapper. He just says a lot of stupid stuff. I don't really take him seriously. I like the way he plays. I think he's pretty fun, but I don't think there's any reason to really take anything he says seriously. Here's my question to you guys, though. I don't know my man's name, but he was just on the screen, and I actually liked what he was saying. But he was talking about, he remembers when Jordan left, and there was this giant hole, and like they were trying to fill it, and it was Kobe, and he just, didn't really fit. And then obviously LeBron was the golden goose. 100%, dude. I'm probably around the same age as you. I remember that vividly. So here comes my question. When LeBron does inevitably leave, maybe it's 10 freaking years from now, eventually he will leave, thank God. Do you think the media will try to tarnish his legacy in the way they've done with Jordan in order to build up the next guy? And when that happens, do you think we'll see some of these LeBron guys kind of come around and be like, oh, I get what you're saying, right?
Absolutely. Look what happened with Kobe. Remember Kobe was number 2?
Yes.
Remember when they were telling us Kobe was the second greatest player of all time? I remember that. We remember it like it was yesterday. They were telling us, oh my goodness, he's the closest thing to Jordan. He's Jordan with a 3-point shot. They were building up Kobe so much at that time because he was so on fire. Now they act like they got amnesia now, but that's what they did. Now, when LeBron finally fizzles out and it goes on to that next guy and he's hot, they're gonna do the same exact thing. It's rinse and repeat. If they will do it to Michael Jordan, who won 6 championships, and they did it to Kobe Bryant, who went to 7 finals and won 5. They're going to do it to LeBron. It's only you can already see certain cracks in the thing. The reason why they're holding on to him for a little bit dear life, because they really don't have that guy yet to replace him. But you can see. You seen Kendrick Perkins have a slip up. You seen Gilbert Arenas admit. You have these guys admitting that they really believe. Even Shannon Sharp had slipped up and said he believed Michael Jordan's the GOAT. So these guys had start to slowly change their tune and pretend and rewrite history like they're doing now. They're gonna do it. It's gonna come.
Right.
So someone said that Mark Jackson made a homophobic comment, and that's why he's out. Uncut said that.
That was always
Yeah,
my
he did.
understanding. He
He's
was
religious.
outspoken on
He's very
his
religious, man.
beliefs.
Well,
Yo,
if
I
Mark
wanna-
Jackson can't get back in, what has Doc Rivers done that allows him to keep getting coaching jobs?
Well, have you seen Doc
Keep his
Rivers'
mouth shut.
Twitter history? He's
No.
I don't want to get into it.
All right, let's not then.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let me take off, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll be in the comments.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yo, be good.
Yeah. So, man, do we dare? Oh, before we move on from the drug testing, and now, like I've said, who knows? Maybe Anthony Edwards was so out of it they weren't even being drug tested. But why on earth, of all the people to drug test, would you not choose to test the guy who's already had his name involved in an investigation, an official investigation, been called out by other celebrities who say they know that he's used, and is literally dripping the shit out of his pores 24/7 now? How of all the people does he not get tested?
I would say this. I just watched 30 for 30 with Lance Armstrong. Y'all remember Lance Armstrong never tested positive, right?
Right.
And they covered it up. He actually did test positive, but they covered it up. So if they would do that with bicycling is not on the NBA level. I mean, not to even be funny or anything, but we know bicycling was known for Lance Armstrong at time. He was the guy that brought cycling to because I never heard of cycling before. It wasn't even, nobody even thought about it. I started seeing dudes bicycling after Lance Armstrong. I see everybody in the neighborhood bicycling all of a sudden. But if they would do that with bicycling, you don't think they're going to protect this guy that they move the goalpost for every year? Nike even covered for Lance Armstrong. So they're going to do the same thing for LeBron. It would not be in the NBA's best interest to have this guy that they're trying to tell you he's better than Jordan, he's better than Kobe, he's the greatest thing we've ever seen, to sit there and all of a sudden expose him. They're going to protect that asset by any means necessary. And that's what he is. He's an asset. The agenda has already been there. They put too much stock in this guy, creating in-season I've never seen anything like this that they're doing for LeBron. Creating in-season tournaments for him, giving him Olympic MVPs, creating another the play-in tournament. All these different things that they've created just for him. They're not about to jeopardize that. That would be foolish,
right?
From a business standpoint.
Here's the other thing, because I don't agree with the people that say that when LeBron retires, he's going to disappear, because LeBron is part of the media now. LeBron has ownership in it. And in fact, I was just reading this morning, he has like 7 companies, and most of them are involved in media. And do you know that Draymond Green is a partial owner of LeBron Unlimited? I was looking into Draymond Green and all of his his switch over to sucking on LeBron from calling him a bitch to his face. And dude, it goes beyond signing with Clutch Sports. He is a part owner in one of LeBron's companies. And if it's LeBron Unlimited, then obviously the stock is about LeBron James. So it's like insider trading. He's lifting the own stock of a company that is about a guy he's supposed to be competing against. That is terrible. We have not Richard Jefferson with us.
Can you guys hear me?
Sping.
What's up?
What up, Spain?
What up?
Meet Phenomenon.
Hey, nice to meet you, Phenomenon.
He's in and out.
Okay. He just doesn't like you.
I guess
He dropped out.
Yeah, it's a it's a whole interrace thing, I guess.
Hey, well, we'll get to the race part soon enough. Maybe not soon enough. So where to begin with, is Steph better than LeBron? Where to begin? And I got a joke to open it up with. I was putting down my list, and I said to my girlfriend, "Hey, why is Steph better than LeBron?" And she said, "He didn't build a museum to himself."
I believe it's a school. I believe he calls it a school.
No, he has a museum and a school, but the school is a museum to himself also.
Oh, that's
no, he actually built. Phenomenon can tell you all about it. You know about his museum.
Yeah.
How do you have a museum for people that are still alive?
Yeah, he
because
has
he
a
built it.
museum and he has a shrine. LeBron James is like the biggest politician ever. Like this dude, you literally have clutch sports. Like I said, I've never seen anything like the phenomenon that LeBron James is. Like this dude literally owns Clutch Sports right under their noses where he can get Anthony Davis to come to his team. You have a media company that spews your propaganda. This dude, he would be a great dictator. Like he would be legendary as a dictator because you control so many aspects of the way people think. That's what dictators do, propaganda. They sit there and they control the masses with propaganda after propaganda. They brainwash you and you hear it so much that it becomes true to you. You start to question yourself. It's like certain dudes, you question themselves. Is LeBron that great? Is he really that great? Larry Bird, leave LeBron alone. Like it's all of a sudden because they know if they say anything out of line that the media is coming for you. They coming. You gonna get a
That's
message. He tried to get Michelle Beadle fired for making a joke about him. That's how sensitive this dude is. He is a dictator
that's why I
by
don't understand
definition.
why he don't like Trump. I'm like, bro, you pretty much like embody a
He
lot of
probably
his
he probably
mannerisms.
does. He
Like, I
probably
don't
rocks
get
with
it.
him.
He
We'll
loves
go
Trump.
down
He just fake. He fake. LeBron don't
Right.
believe half the things he don't believe 99% of the things he say. Think of how many times he just lies for no reason. He doesn't believe what he says. That's why he switched up when the whole China thing came. When China came, all of a sudden LeBron, we could have been hurt spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, all types of ways we could have been hurt. But it was about the money, dude. All this, you was just quoting Martin Luther King before. You took a Dr. King quote before, talking about
Yeah.
injustice anywhere, and now
Yep.
all of a sudden you switching up and you want to talk about, you want to be, politically correct and safe. I thought you
Hey,
was this
hey,
bold dude. You're
phenomenon.
not.
Pleasure to meet you. I had to get that out the way because AOH made it all weird and awkward. The one thing I'm gonna always say is, as he was saying that stupid shit, nobody in the press ever presses him about any of it. I always reference the Malika Andrews interview. Like, yo, when he responds with such stupidity, why don't you follow up with like anything that would hold you accountable? Like, there's got to be at least one person in that press room that's not compromised. But I'm probably wrong at this point.
No,
All right.
I
no.
mean, it costs you your livelihood.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
have
Right, exactly. Like Michelle Beadle.
We'll have an ultimate LeBron bashing episode one day where we revisit all of these. Let's try to get to today's topic. I've got a big list. Should I read my list or should we? I'll start.
Read it off what you got to say about the Steph Curry, LeBron James thing.
All right, and then I'll hand it off. Okay. So I've got just individually, in terms of individual skills, I don't think LeBron has them in anything except for jumping, dunking. Steph is a better ball handler. Steph is a better shooter in every aspect. Like, he's a better free throw shooter. He's a better distance shooter. He's a better mid-range shooter. He has killer floaters. He has these wiry moves in his layup package. So I think he's got LeBron across the board on that. I haven't really spent that much time analyzing Steph's passing because we're so busy oohing and awing about his shooting, but I've seen him make some pretty incredible passes. The difference is that the media spends a lot of time telling you that LeBron is a great passer, whether he is or not. And LeBron has some great passes, but my God, they make it sound like the most fundamental pass is the most incredible thing that has ever been seen. So you got to bring the media into it before we truly compare their passing. Also, LeBron has people like Anthony Davis to lob it to. Steph Curry has Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney can barely get off the ground to fucking finish an alley-oop. Super teams. The Warriors have been referred to as a super team, which I always kind of take a little bit of a issue with because they were a team that became super. That team that beat the Cavs in 2015 was a team of draftees.
Yep.
The reason people fell in love with those Warriors at that time, before Steph Curry became a household name, was because they reminded the world that it was a team sport and it's what team ball looked like. The ball movement was incredible. And the way that their execution in running a play that led to a high quality shot for other players, that was fun. That was fun to watch instead of the individualism. In fact, it was almost like the polar opposite of watching the LeBron James show. Steph drafted, Draymond drafted, Clay drafted. Now, just for perspective, I dare your average viewer to name anyone else on the team from 2015. Just for perspective. Some of you can. I bet a lot of you can't. Festus Ezeli. Woohoo! How about that name? Drafted. McAdoo, drafted. Harrison Barnes, drafted. And you realize Livingston, who ended up playing a big role, was on 13 teams journeying the league before he was able to find a role at Golden State. So what really makes someone better, the system and good teammates, or that the player themselves was that good? And the reason Livingston is what I ended with is because Livingston was a journeyman who found an important role in a good system. Whereas what LeBron did was go out and hire mercenaries. He went out and got people that were already established in the league and tried to form these super armies. So my point being that the way Steph got his rings is better than the way that LeBron got his rings. And of course, now I'm sure people are thinking, oh, Kevin Durant. Yes, the Warriors picked up Kevin Durant and it fit. There was a chance that it wouldn't have fit because LeBron James has done more than his fair share of trying to put together all the best people, and he fails anyway. I don't think it's that unreasonable for a team that is comprised almost entirely of draftees to add another piece. Kevin Durant was the right choice. Kevin Durant was a good fit for that team, and they kind of get massacred for it. I tell you what, LeBron was still trying to build different super teams in Cleveland, so goddamn the Warriors for countering that. And then, of course, Steph did that 2015 one without Kevin Durant, and he did the 2022 one without Durant. LeBron hasn't done a damn thing in which there wasn't someone else who was arguably the better player on the team. You could argue Dwayne Wade was better than LeBron in Miami. You can argue Kyrie was better than LeBron in Cleveland. You can argue Anthony Davis is better than LeBron in LA. And even if you don't agree, there is a legitimate argument to be made on all of those. Who on the Warriors is better than Steph? What did the Warriors do without Steph? I've got more, but I feel like I should let some people go. Who's up? Who's first? Yeah, go, Robin.
No, I just wanted to say, like, the only things that you were talking about, what that shows is that Steph Curry, once again, makes the players around him better. He makes it easier for you to find a role and fit into an actual system. So that's one of the complete opposites of LeBron James. So we've all talked about this. LeBron James does not make the players around him better. He doesn't make it easier for you to play the basketball game. He makes you have to fit in around him by altering your game. So you're never going to be the best version of yourself, the most consistent version of yourself. Another thing you were mentioning that alludes to this is the leadership or the coachability of a Steph Curry that LeBron James just doesn't have. We mentioned Steve Kerr earlier and how Steve Kerr is really not that great. He might be a bit overrated. So what is that a highlight? That highlights Steph Curry once again. He's the guy who's coaching Steph Curry, and Steph Curry making Steve Kerr look great, making him look good. Can you name the coaches that LeBron James has made look great? He makes everybody look bad. He makes them take all the blame. He scapegoats the coaches. That's not Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry's always taking the responsibility. Has always taken the blame for the Warriors' struggles or for them not winning or not living up to the snuff. That falls on Steph Curry. All the blame never falls on LeBron James. So once again, the complete opposite of a Steph Curry. And you talked about the overall skills of Steph Curry. Talk about the ball handling ability, the playmaking of Steph Curry. Once again, Steph Curry could make plays without the basketball in his hand. Something like LeBron James could never dream about doing. So this goes to Steph Curry making everyone else have a job. He allows Draymond Green to be Draymond Green. He allows Klay Thompson to be Klay Thompson. He allows you to bring in those guys you mentioned, the Leandro Barbosas, the Sean Livingstons, the Andrew Bogus, the Harrison Barnes. He allows someone like Kevin Durant to come in and fill a role and just fit in seamlessly. Those are all the things that the opposite of a LeBron James.
When did Andrew Wiggins finally become an all-star? Inside the Warriors.
And Wardell Curry.
And he traded Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you know the guy, and you know that for the people that like to count rings, if Kevin Durant hadn't gotten hurt and almost the entire Warrior team, in fact, in 2019, they've got the 2019 ring also.
Yes.
And and if Draymond Green hadn't chased Kevin Durant out of town, who knows how far they'd still be going.
Oh yeah. Draymond Green was a plan. He did that was strategic.
Fucker.
But I wanted
I'm
to
starting to
follow
think
up.
that right now. I'm really
Yeah,
starting to
I
think
wanted
that.
to follow. I wanted to follow up on a few points.
Yeah.
So I hear this whole thing about LeBron's playing against the best players and blah blah. Every time he loses, right? That's what I keep hearing. Well, I did a little research myself, and I was able to compile some things. So I'm gonna just give y'all some names that Steph Curry has a winning record over in the playoffs. Everybody knows without a doubt, it's no secret. LeBron James, he's beaten him 3 times in the finals, good for 17 and 11 overall. He has a winning record over James Harden, Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart. Now, is that not the same competition that LeBron is also facing? But for some reason, Steph Curry is beating his competition. LeBron James customarily is losing. But I got more to bring to the table. So I was also looking at what Steph Curry was doing without Kevin Durant, because I know a lot of people love to, give KD all his praise. I'm like, okay, that's great. Steph Curry is also 66 and 39 in the playoffs for his entire career without Kevin Durant. And since Kevin Durant's departure, he's 22 and 13 in the playoffs, well above 500 in both instances. Also, the Golden State Warriors since 2014-15, they're only at a 37.9% win percentage without Steph Curry. With Steph Curry, they're at a 73.1% win rate. So they've won a total of 442 games and only lost a total of 163. That's with him being on the team, in the lineup. But
DeAndre, I see you in the waiting room, but I'm going to let the panelists get their bit in on this since I took so long on it before. So hang in there.
Now, you're fine. Now I'm debunking this whole Steph Curry isn't clutch. So in the closing moments of a title clincher, right? So it's either game 6 or game 2, whatever the situation is, in a closeout. So if it's not a sweep, it'll be game 5, game 6, or 7. Steph Curry averages 32.5 points per game. That's only second to Michael Jordan at 33.7 in a closeout situation.
Wow.
So that debunks the whole he's not clutch, blah, 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 blah. But let's go a little further. Steph Curry's been a part of the most watched games since he's been in the playoffs since 2015. So first round games, he's been in the last 25 years, the finals in the last 26 years, the second round in the last 13 years, Christmas Day the last 14 years. He's all of these different games he's been a part of has been the most watched. My last and final point. 2023, 2024, they just took a random poll for the GMs, assistant coaches, and coaches. Which player do you want taking a shot with the game on the line? 37% Stephen Curry. LeBron James didn't even make the top. He didn't even make the top 8.
Oh, well, Rich Paul is going to be threatening those coaches. The vote won't be the same next year.
But those are just a few little things I want to just throw out there, because I hear this all the time about, oh, well, LeBron did this, LeBron did that. I said, okay, great. Well, how come LeBron hasn't had a championship run the way Steph Curry had in 2015 or 2022? Because in both of those runs, he didn't even have a top 75 player going along with him for the ride, and he got the job done.
Yo, and what's crazy, man, is that the LeBron James fans will continue to make excuses for the 2015 NBA Finals. And AOH, you brought that up as highlighting Steph Curry leading a team that had never even been to the finals. There was not one player in the 2015 Warriors that had ever been to an NBA Finals when they won that championship. And what would the LeBron James fans say? Oh, well, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love got hurt. Okay, once again, LeBron James was playing on a super team. All that did was even it up. And let's not forget, once again, no one made those same excuses for Steph Curry when they lost that 3-1 lead, when Steph Curry was dealing with a knee injury and Andrew Bogut went down and Andre Iguodala was hobbled and Draymond Green was suspended. They won't keep the same energy for that. There are no excuses in the NBA Finals when it comes down to winning games and winning when it matters. There's no excuses. All throughout NBA's history, there have been injuries. There have been guys that have been playing with injuries, guys that came off the bench with injuries, all kinds of things, man. There are no excuses, man. But the LeBron James fans always find a way to excuse him, even though he's always playing a super team. Like you guys mentioned, Steph Curry has 2 championships on his resume that you can say was not a super team. Kevin Durant was not there. What has LeBron James ever won that was not a super team, man? Does LeBron James 2020 Lakers, when people want to say was not a super team, yes, they were, man. You're playing with Rajon Rondo, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard, a team that you once again put together by having your clutch member request a trade off of his team. Can someone name me a time in Michael Jordan's career or Steph Curry's career or any other great player's career where one of their friends, a guy that worked for them, so to speak, request a trade off of their team and enjoying them to win, man? It's absolutely unheard of.
And, Steph's behavior is so much better. He bites his tongue in a lot of things. I mean, some of his behavior isn't great, but compared to LeBron James, it's incredible.
It's the upbringing.
If he acted like LeBron, Steph Curry would have a podcast right now explaining and making excuses for the finals that he lost. And maybe starting some hype and exposing all the bullshit that went down in 2016. I mean, I would like Clay and Steph to have shot better in those last games, but still, you can't tell me that 2016 finals wasn't fishy as hell.
Yeah. When you're raised up in a home with structure and order and accountability, and you're going to conduct yourself a different way. And LeBron, he didn't have none of that coming up, so we see why he conducts himself the way he does.
Steam Engine wanted to reply to a guy. I had his comment up there. I took it down to put uncut up there, but about Steph not getting calls. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I remember the gist of it, but I also want to say people don't take into consideration Steph came back from some pretty catastrophic ankle injuries, and still, like, not only did he come back, he actually improved pretty much everything about his game. He gained muscle. He learned how to finish in the paint. That was the whole point of him gaining that muscle. So a lot of people don't give him credit for that, especially at his size, because I really don't think he's as tall as he's listed. To answer the question, I think that there's a perception already that Steph's like this family friendly golden boy kind of like face of the league. And at least this is my theory. I don't think he gets those calls because I'm guessing in the locker rooms, players already think he gets preferential treatment. And, if he starts getting calls, it's going to turn into the whole hack-a-shack thing. And it's going to, again, going back to narratives, it's going to fully reshape his whole kind of character. I remember there was a story about 3 or 4 seasons ago that there were players in the league that felt that Steph was getting preferential treatment because he was lighter skinned than most. And that was an actual story. And that was said by people in actual locker rooms. So I think that's, I think that all plays a part. So if he starts getting calls, you're going to have people bitching in the front office every 5 minutes.
Let me have a caller on for a moment. I think DeAndre tried to get on earlier. DeAndre, what do you got to say?
I'm in the building.
Yes, you are.
To answer your question, I don't think that Steph Curry's better than LeBron James just because of what LeBron. Well, first off, are you talking about right now or their career?
Let's say career.
Okay, so just from what LeBron brings to the table on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh boy, you lost me.
Hold on. Check me out. Old LeBron doesn't play any defense. We all know that. But I think your bigger issues are like personality traits. And then after he became a made man, so to speak, he thinks that he don't have to do anymore. And then that, as a competitor, that's disgusting. But as far as young LeBron, before he went to Miami, I think he had all the potential in the world. I think when he took on that villain identity, he really embraced that. And now it's a lot of variables. That's actually why I wanted to get on. But I did want to answer your question before because I don't know if you remember me, but I was on probably 3 weeks ago, a month ago now, and I was telling you how I was on the chat with some LeBron fanboys, and it was surreal because I've never been in that type of situation. So I don't know if you remember that conversation. But since then, I wanted to holler at you because I live in Los Angeles, and on Mondays it's the celebrity karaoke, and I end up seeing y'all boy Gilbert Arenas in the building. So I had talked to him, and I told him that I'm a fan of this channel, and I brought up, but I told him he'd be spitting bullshit or whatever, and then he was like, "No, LeBron the best." I told him LeBron not the best, bro. Come on. He was like, "No, LeBron the best." Mm-hmm. He was like, "Cause I played against him. You think Kobe?" I'm like, "Nah, it's not that." But, and then I told him, ultimately, my point of view of everything with sports in the whole, it's a it's a microcosm of a bigger problem. And so, short story. I'm gonna just try to break it down as fast as I can. I think that the NBA saw what Magic Johnson did for the Lakers as a business. So then they were looking for their star. You get Michael Jordan. And then, like everybody said, the ratings went down when he left. So they were looking for a star. And so it changed from actual basketball skill and ability and all of that stuff to who's going to sell tickets. Because this is a $1 billion industry. So they can care less about the person who should win if he's not likable or if he's not selling tickets. And that's the bottom line. They've groomed LeBron James to be in this position. And so I think, like, oh my, it's so,
Thank you, DeAndre.
yeah, it's so
Appreciate it. Yeah, except I did a detailed breakdown on that, and unfortunately, during LeBron's time, it's the only time that the revenue for the Lakers has started to go downhill, and the Warriors have overtaken them. Sorry,
I wanted to say something to
the Lakers. The Lakers do not need a gimmick. They are the Los
AOH
Angeles
found the
Lakers.
friendliest way to say I already said that.
The Lakers do not need a gimmick to sell tickets, people. In fact,
Yeah.
they are losing. They have lost season ticket holders because of LeBron James. Jeez.
You know, he said something about a characteristic trait and how, you know, and I've heard some LeBron James fans say things like, you know, we don't like LeBron James. That's why we make these videos. We don't like him as his personality, his person. But they're not understanding is a lot of the traits that I highlight on my channel, man. We're talking about the respect, the love of the game. That translates to your own core game. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. When we mentioned earlier the 2015 NBA Finals, and you see Uncut Hoops here, he made a comment there about the 2-1 lead that he had in the finals. Let's think about LeBron James and that mentality that I'm just talking about. That leads to what? Him not working on his game off the court because he don't love the game like that. He don't respect the game like that. He don't care. So once again, the NBA has manipulated the rules in favor of someone like LeBron James, so he don't have to develop his game. That was part of the reason why he left Miami. He didn't want to practice hard and work on his game like that. So when he leaves and doesn't work on his game, that's what happens and shows up in the 2015 NBA Finals. What have we always alluded to? LeBron James at the end of games, he's stumbling and bumbling out there. He's turning the ball over. He doesn't know what to do, right? He's unsure of himself. And that goes to the lack of preparation, not having and developing a go-to move in the clutch. So this goes to LeBron James and his why he lost the 2-1 lead in 2015 NBA Finals, man. At the end of a lot of those games, he didn't know what to do. He's taking bad shots, and he's not finishing those games, man, or finishing those plays. That goes to him, his mindset, and not caring about working on that game.
Hey, don't be scared, callers. I can't let you all ramble on forever. So I can get other people on. DeAndre said his piece, and we've got Dallas in the waiting room. He's going to come on, but it's interesting that defense was brought up because I was just breaking down the 2018 finals. Steph Curry was guarding LeBron James in overtime. Steph Curry was guarding LeBron James in overtime, and LeBron couldn't do anything. Explain that to me. Explain it. 80 pounds and 7 inches.
Wait, this is the finals, right?
The finals.
Wait, I got a good stat for y'all. This is on ESPN Stats and Info. Whenever LeBron James matched up on Steph Curry when he was on the offensive side, do y'all know Steph Curry held him to 26% shooting from 2015 to 2018? That is
LeBron
horrific.
got no move.
That is horrific.
LeBron is the most overrated defender too. I actually watched. A lot of people don't realize I watched LeBron from 2003 to now. It's not like we one of these dudes that's just now seeing LeBron for the first time or we just making these things up. I actually was rooting for LeBron in the beginning. So I watched all his games. He was a defensive liability. I don't know. We can find the articles. I might even do a video on this.
Okay.
He was a defensive liability when he first came into the league. It wasn't until the Miami years where they started hyping up his defense, but he looked good because you got Shane Battier and Dwayne Wade on your team. So when you got other great defenders, they purposely highlighting LeBron, but he was always a liability on defense. This man he used to cry to the refs even back then. This is not a new phenomenon. This is not a new thing that he's done. This is not like LeBron just started not playing defense or he just started crying to the refs and not getting back on defense. He's been doing this. He
Yeah.
is an overrated defender. They gave him awards when he didn't deserve it. That's why he only has 6 as it is. He has 5 all first teams and 1 second team. He's not a great defender. I'm tired of people saying that he's this phenomenal defender. So then why make it make sense? So you mean to tell me Michael Jordan in his 40s was a great defender when he was young? Why all of a sudden why was he still playing defense in Washington? Because it's a habit that you already have. You don't all of a sudden lose that aspect of your game. Every great defender, Gary Payton and all of them, were still great defenders when they were old. You don't all of a sudden take 10 years off of defense because you were this great defender. It's already in your game. It's in your DNA. That doesn't make any sense, fanboys. I'm sorry to tell y'all this. It doesn't make sense.
It's also, you have to be really full of yourself the way LeBron is to stop on plays because you think you deserve a playoff. Or he even did it in the Olympics where he decided to stare down Yabusele instead of running down the court. Dude, not only are you on a team, you're on a team in the Olympics and you're pulling this shit. So Michael Jordan's not going to.
Habits die hard. That's what I mean.
Yabusele, yes.
Your
he
habits.
got that man signed.
Hey, Dallas, I'm going to let you talk. Dallas, you're on.
What's happening, y'all? I'll be real brief. I'm not going to bash LeBron here, but I am going to tell the truth. The truth is he's not better than Steph Curry. Steph Curry was dominant in a shorter span of time. He won in a shorter span of time. He changed the game in a shorter span of time. I mean, that's not even, I don't even think that's even worth conversation because it's easy to see. The truth of the matter when it comes to him as defender is he's athletic. So maybe against some guys, he can appear that he's really, really playing D. He can jump and got a little bit of speed. He may get a chase down block. But you mean as far as one-on-one defender, lockdown? No. If you look at his finals, you look at the MVPs from the guys that he played, most of them are small forwards. Kawhi Leonard, Andre Iguodala. Who else? Who did Miami lose? Who?
Oh, Kevin Durant, but they beat them though.
Yeah, but even when he was in Golden State, I always tell people this too when they try to say that Golden State is a super team. They added Kevin Durant, right? Kevin Durant is a small forward. LeBron is a small forward. If you lock down Kevin Durant, you probably win, right?
Thank you.
You probably win.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the problem was. The Cavs still had the GOAT, right?
They still got to look because think about when you look at the matchup, Kyrie and Curry can kind of X each other out. Yeah. Then you have most of their role players are similar on both teams. The only matchup that they didn't win, where they couldn't win, was the LeBron Kevin Durant matchup. Same thing in San Antonio. You lock down Kawhi Leonard, you probably beat San Antonio. You know what I mean? So to me it's easy to see. I think what it is I think people like muscles. I think they like the fact that LeBron is big. Because I try to figure it out. Like when I'm watching, like I see the guy's game is limited. It's easy to see. But I think guys just like, it's a lot of football guys that watch basketball now. Exactly. And they like a football guy that can they like, the big guy in the gym that's bigger than everybody, but he's shooting jumpers. He's that guy, right? And then the last thing I'm gonna say, this is just about the game of basketball in general. I saw an IG post today about this move they was trying to figure out if it was a travel. So the guy did a sidestep dribble into a jump shot, right? To the right side. And then he jumped back to the left side on the left foot. It was so many guys in there trying to say this was an ill move. Y'all don't know basketball. I'm gonna say, dude, this is where the game has come where y'all don't know what a travel looks like. You can't sidestep and gather into a jump shot, pump fake, and then jump to the left foot and shoot the ball. But now I just say that to say you see so many young guys, you see so many guys in the game that just get away with traveling now because it's like they just allow them to move this pivot foot and everybody gets ooh and ah about like, oh, that was a nice move. I love Anthony Edwards, but that spin around 2 times and then step through and lay it up, it's a travel. Luka travels. I mean, there's so many guys that travel. LeBron travels all the time because if he try to do anything with any type of if we try to do anything that somebody with rhythm can do, he travels because he don't have like a really good rhythm when he's making his moves. It's kind of like he starts to trip up when he try to do too much because he's never been a really, really great ball handler. And my thing, and I'll leave with this. The thing about it is, most that I want to tell LeBron fans is this. Don't you know how good LeBron would be if he played to his limited skill set? If he said, I'm a big guy, I really can't dribble that great. I am athletic. Let me really, really work on my post-up game. Let me get rid of the ball and cut to the basket. Let me set a screen and run to the basket. Maybe even a little bit more like Zion when he's not dribbling. He would be awesome if he played like that, but they've convinced him that he's a point guard. He's Magic Johnson when we know that he's not. But I'm going to leave it at that, man. Nice hearing from you guys, man, and I'm going to sit back and check you guys out.
Thank you, Dallas.
Appreciate you,
Can I
man.
comment on that?
Great input,
Can I
man.
comment
Great
on that real
insight.
quick?
Yes,
real
right.
quick. Right, yeah. I'm just gonna talk, and you're just gonna talk. We'll figure it out.
Go.
Thank you. There's a dude on IG, Hezzy God. He's
Cool. Well, thanks, Phenomenon. That was Richard Jefferson. We enjoyed that. Anyone else want to talk?
I wanted to say something real quick. So
No,
I
I'm
have
kidding.
Steph Curry.
I'm
I
kidding.
have Steph Curry.
No.
Oh my God! Welcome back. I know how they happened to be too. It kicked me out.
at first I thought he was serious. I was like, this fucker.
Now
No,
you
so
are
there's
not.
this dude, Hezzy God. He's one of these social media basketball guys. He's talented, don't get me wrong, but like from what I read and see, he travels every play and everyone calls him out on it. Next thing you know, I see this dude playing with actual NBA players, and it's like, if we've reached the point where basically and one is now just regular basketball, then it's pretty much over with. Because I remember, like, I think I brought this up before, when and one first hit the scene, like dudes in the NBA were like, you can't do that shit, stop. But now it's like, especially since Harden started doing that little step back and all his bullshit, excuse my language, it's just normalized now.
And which leads us to changing the game. Dallas talked about Steph Curry has been said of changing the game. And some people have said that it changed the game in a negative way because of the 3-point shot. But here's the thing. The 3-point shot is a legal part of basketball. So adapt to it and stop it if you don't like it. And, I agree because I like the older style of play. I like the inside out game. I like the big men down low. I don't like everybody hanging out on the perimeter, getting ready to leave the second that the shot is chucked up. But again, at least the 3-point shot is a legal part of basketball. How has LeBron James changed the game? He's, in my opinion, the only thing you can say that he's done with the game of basketball is introduced negative aspects of it, such as the flopping, such as getting away with offensive fouls, such as complaining until the refs finally go your way. What else does he do? Traveling, obviously.
Yeah, I think.
Well, like you said. Okay.
Go, Robin. I haven't heard from you in ages.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, he turned it into the gimmick NBA. And these are the things that you were just mentioning. They're all gimmicks now. And why are these things here now? Because the game has been destroyed by the likes of a LeBron James and many of his contemporaries due to the mindset of these guys. Once again, going back to the lack of the respect for the game, and they don't love the game of basketball. So when you talk about the in-season tournament, the play-in tournaments that you guys mentioned earlier that are designed to help LeBron James, in fact, those are actually hurting LeBron James because these are the things that we point to as NBA fans, as basketball fans, as being the problem with the league. When you have to introduce a league minimum amount of games for these guys to show up to work, it's absolutely hilarious, man. When you have to have flopping guidelines, and LeBron James is the first player in the league to get a technical foul for flopping, it's hilarious, man. These are the things that we're alluding to. When LeBron James is popping champagne and drinking out of the MVP or the in-season tournament cup, it makes it more embarrassing. Think about the All-Star game, guys. The All-Star game is a joke now. Back when I was growing up, the All-Star game was supposed to be a celebration of the talent in the NBA. It was supposed to be for the fans' enjoyment. That's what the All-Star game was, for the people to enjoy these guys playing at a high level, all your favorite players together. The NBA All-Star game now is unwatchable, guys. I watched every minute of the last All-Star game.
Unstoppable.
Absolutely disgusting.
For example, when we look back on accolades people have gotten, and we're going to look back and know that Damian Lillard was the MVP of this All-Star game. Is that going to mean a damn thing for his legacy?
No.
I mean, He was the king of a joke. Good job. And
To
that's not
us,
the way they
no,
all.
but future generations, yes, because they're only going to look at numbers. That's what's happening right now. 10, 20 years from now, they're going to see these numbers and these stats. Luka, the numbers Luka puts up by the time his career is over, they're going to be asinine, like unimaginable. And he's going to be seen as this great. Not to say that he's not great, but it's only going to be based on numbers, because every time we try to bring up the eye test, they're like, oh, you're old, you filed for Social Security, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yo, no, like we've seen it. I've been watching him since 2003 also. Like, you see it in action.
Hey, Speem, you know the quickest way just to shut them up, just ask them, what have you done to determine a basketball game? If you've never done anything to determine a basketball or sporting event, why are you talking to me about some astronomical numbers that has nothing to do with the game in and of itself? That's the quickest way, because they try to bombard me, but when I get to pressing them, they just start glitching out. What was it? I didn't ask you about 2K. I asked you about real life. Can you go to a gym right now and get picked up? Because if you can't, stop talking to me, please.
I've got
ridiculous.
I've got with Lerv waiting. Am I saying that right? With Lerv.
Hey,
Yes,
wait.
sir.
I want to make a quick statement to Young Disciple whenever this gentleman finishes.
Okay. With Lerv, no disrespect, but we're keeping it short. So deliver your message, please.
Yes, sir. You guys, I didn't get in when you were talking about Curry, but you were talking about that, and then you just mentioned about people ruining the game. You can kind of pick those two things together with Draymond Green, as you all know already. But I don't want to get too much into theories, but you got to think about how Draymond has affected Curry's legacy all this time. Remember, he was the one who got kicked out of the finals, and they ended up losing mostly because of that. He's been the one ever since then. He's become friends with LeBron, and now he's endorsing LeBron on all these levels increasingly. And he chasing Kevin Durant out of town. All that together is a pattern there. And I'm not sure what that means, but why is he involved? And it's kind of bringing Curry down. He's like, I'll chain him on his neck. That's all I wanted to say.
Even last year.
You're spot on with Lerv, and it sounds really, again, I get self-conscious because you say these things out loud and it sounds conspiratorial, and yet it's all true. Like it all happened. It's just that truth is as strange as fiction, stranger than fiction. I mean, Draymond getting suspended changed that series. Draymond chasing Kevin Durant out of town changed the Warriors. Draymond punching Jordan Poole put the Warriors in a spin for the whole season. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. Draymond's always getting in trouble. I don't know whether or not Steph Curry is afraid of Draymond, that he won't, or if he actually likes him. But we know that Clutch Sports is incredibly powerful at this point. I mean, it's not even hidden. Rich Paul's coming out and telling us. Rich Paul comes out and tells us that he's telling teams what to do. That's madness.
Yeah, Draymond had Steph Curry crying last year because of his antics. This man is a plant. Like he is definitely a plant. Like how many times? This is what Kim did. And I'm gonna let who's guy say what he's gonna say. I'm just gonna say this real quick. Guys come in my chat all the time talking about facts. I'm like, do you know what facts are? If I sit there and say LeBron had a growth in his jaw, for example, that was a fact. The dude went and his game dropped off. That was a fact. All the things we saying about Draymond Green are facts. Now we can draw a conclusion from those facts, but you cannot say we're not bringing the facts. We're drawing a conclusion from them facts, but we're still stating facts to come to that conclusion.
No, you're just hating. You're just hating. Don't bring facts. That's hating.
Hey, and don't let me forget. Hey, his initials were on that biogenesis ledger when Mr. Paul went there and picked up a quote unquote substance, and the initials were LJ. You know, we can't forget about it. That's a fact too. But
those are facts.
this guy, Young Disciple. See, and I'm noticing this is back to what I said earlier. See, the goalpost has been moved from championships, three-peats, and winning to appearances and now accumulation total. So this little joker named Young Disciple said 40K. That's nice, but let me paint a different picture. So we take another guy. Let's just throw some random name out there, Joe Ingles. And let's just say Joe Ingles puts up 19 points per game for over 25 years. Young Disciple, do you not know that that equates to 38,950 total points. So once again, the accumulative totals have no value whatsoever unless you are winning to the degree of a Tom Brady or a Tim Duncan. So can you please stop regurgitating these idiotic narratives about longevity totals that have no meaning whatsoever? This dude has never had a winning record in the finals, yet you fanboys want to keep talking about 40K. I don't care about 40K. He's still under 500 in the finals, which is far more impressive. And when you get to the championship stage and you can beat your opponents. See, if Jerry West, prime example, he goes to 9 finals. He'll even tell you he doesn't care about those stats. He doesn't even care about his finals MVP because he didn't win. But these guys will keep coming back telling us about 40K. Okay, cool. I'm gonna tell him I got a guy that he can just put up 19 points per game and play for 25 years. What's the difference? But I know, like Wade said, that
or what about John Stockton?
Yeah, thank you. But see,
what about the Buffalo Bills?
They have
one of the greatest teams ever.
They have that I promise school math, so it's not gonna compartmentalize to them on the degree that it was.
Hoots God, what's the AOH example on longevity?
Hold on. Remind me. I don't want to misquote you. Remind me.
I've been going to the same YMCA for 25 years.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'm not a good player, but I have the scoring title.
Yeah.
But no, that was my whole point. Kareem did this without a 3-point line. To me, that's more impressive. I'm not interested in a guy that can't win because, again, the goalpost is constantly moving. It's championships. He can't do that. He couldn't get to the 3-peat. Now we got to hype up appearances. Now he's no longer getting to the finals. So now what is it? Oh, he's putting up all these impressive stats. How's it impressive if you're getting bounced in the first round? I'm not understanding.
What's crazy about the appearances is Kareem has also been to 10.
Thank you.
And he has a winning record. Kareem has been to the same amount of finals as LeBron fanboys, but he has a winning record. He's 6 out of the 10 that he's won. He's won 6 out of the 10 he's been to. So why is that not impressive to y'all? If appearances mean something, Magic been to 9 and won 5. There's been guys that have done what LeBron has done and won more. So what's the point of you getting there if you're gonna lose every single time? That means you don't belong there. And I use this example. If you watch a boxer and he was beating up everybody, and then he gets to the championship bout and that champion mops the floor with them, no one's gonna be like, well, he got there. We're gonna look back at him and say, who did you actually face for you to get mopped this bad? We're gonna question that. Now your whole career is gonna be. It don't matter if you had a 40-0 record. You get to the championship bout and you look like you don't belong there. That means nothing.
Man, Sports and Fitness Rants has to go, but we have 340 viewers. We'll stay on if you guys want to stay on. This is the last hump day with me and Robin. Our schedules change now that school comes back in. So, Robin, go ahead and say your goodbye. I'm sorry, you're going to miss the criticizing positive black men.
I know, man. Listen, I got to get going, guys. Yo, it's been a pleasure. Yo, AOH, man, like I said, man, this won't be the last thing that we do, man. I'll continue to see all you guys. AOH, once again, it's been an honor, man, to be doing these live streams with you. I've been subscribed to your channel for a long time. I've told you this before, man. Shout out to all the work that you continue to do, man. Yo, Speen, once again, it was a pleasure, man. Yo, Hoop God, I'll see you on the next one. Man, phenomenal, man. Once again, thank you for coming through, man. My first time doing a live stream with you, man. Once again, it was great, man. You were spitting out the fire out there, man. So thanks a lot. And to everybody in the chat, man. Yo, shout out to everybody that's been supporting my channel, that supported these Wednesday live streams, man. My goodness, guys, it's been amazing, man. So thank you once again. I'm truly, truly humble, guys, by all the support, man. Yo, you guys continue to do your thing, man. And I'll get you guys on the next one, man.
Thank you, Robin.
All right, man.
All right, sir.
Take it easy, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Can I piggyback off something real quick? Because that young disciple dude said
already.
something. I'm just gonna do it. The Buffalo didn't win, but that's not the point. The point is Buffalo wasn't propped up as this super team because they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. LeBron's a large part of his narrative is his finals appearances, and that's what Hoop God was trying to. That's what everyone on the fucking planet's trying to allude to, is that you can get there. That's great, but if you don't do shit with it, who cares? Now,
but it's not just that.
Go ahead.
It's even worse than that, because not only did he get there and fail more times than he succeeded, the way he got there was pretty gross. And he hopped to where he had the easiest chance to do it. And he gutted the Cleveland Cavaliers by not telling them what his move was going to be. And then he gutted Miami by not telling them what he was going to do next. And he kept joining up with powerful teams. Again, another way that Steph Curry is superior to LeBron James. Steph has stayed. And let me tell you, as a Bay Area guy, the Warriors have had some dark years. You imagine if Steph had LeBron's mentality. It's like, well, looks like we're going to be effed for a couple of years. Maybe I'll hop over and join these guys and see if I can get some championships that way. That's essentially the LeBron approach to getting to the finals. And if that's your way of getting to the finals, then your finals appearances don't mean anything to me. Maybe I'm just old school like that.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't
like
forget.
I said, it's akin to a boxer beating up tomato cans to get to the championship bout. Okay, you beat up all these easy dudes. We see who you really are in those big moments. That's who we get to see who you really are.
Hey, don't forget, Steph Curry didn't have to beg for his respect for none of his championships.
I can't wait for the next ESPYs and have Steph have his wife come on stage and crown him or something. My God, maybe his kid will dap him up so that we can believe that they have a good relationship. Let me put the link in the call box again. Are you guys ready to talk about criticizing positive black men?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know Robin was going off on it on his show, and this is a different sport, but I got to tell you, if someone wants to set a positive example to show the world how you should not behave, the Colorado Buffaloes should fire Deion Sanders because he just made a goddamn mockery of himself on television, acting like a freaking child. That I see. You can be a black man or a purple man or a white man. If you're not positive, you're not positive. If you're not positive, you're not positive. And that guy was not positive. And I don't think LeBron James is positive. I don't think he's a positive Homo sapien. I don't think he's a positive adult. Forget the rest of the ethnicity or anything else. But I don't know. I think it's lazy. I think it's lazy to use the race thing. What percent of it is laziness versus actually just being racist?
All of it.
I think it's a lot of laziness because just like we saw in the comment section, people could criticize Trump. They don't be like, "Oh, that's white on white. Why you tearing down this positive white man?" Like it's weird to me that they do that. I'm like, there's plenty of people. How come we can look at other individuals and be openly critical of their faults? If they're actually doing the things we're saying, that's using your mind. You're telling the truth. If what they're doing is actually bad and you're pointing it out, it doesn't matter what color they are. I don't know why race and gender and all that stuff has to be factored in. Bad behavior is bad behavior no matter who it comes from. We shouldn't put a shield over anybody based on their skin color, white, black, Latino, whatever. That's just ridiculous to me. It's really lazy because instead of looking at the facts and seeing if what we're saying is actually true, you want to go straight to that to try to shut us up. Like, oh, how dare, just like we saw the comment with, what was his name? Young World. 3 black men criticizing this guy. Y'all all B words or whatever. Like, that's the type of stuff they do all the time, even on my channel.
Yeah.
Hey, but phenomenal. See, this is what I wanted to speak on there, right? Because there's two things at play here. It's a case of obfuscating, and it's also a case of low-hanging fruit. But this is what I mean. He'll say that to you, right? But then he'll go right outside and look upside the head of somebody else wearing a particular color, claiming I'm this color, you this color. So I got a problem with you, right? Now, this is my only problem with that. They don't say this about the coaches who get thoroughly removed under his tutelage or the players, right? I've never heard anybody speak up for Darin Ham, who is a part of the clutch camp. Or I would say they favor LeBron, like a Draymond Green. I didn't hear him speaking up for Darin Ham. I didn't hear Anthony Davis. Of course, he's a puppet. He's not speaking up for Darin Ham. Anybody who's a part of the LeBron circle, I don't hear them speaking up for Darin Ham. I didn't hear any of them speaking up for Russell Westbrook. I didn't hear any of them speaking up for Kyrie Irving. So I'm like, wait a minute now. Are we being hypocrites here? Are we picking and choosing when we want to play the quote unquote race card? Because now I'm seeing some inconsistency. See, that's why I don't take them serious when they do that. I'm like, okay, you don't want to address the topic that, the elephant in the room. So you want to try to evade the bigger issue, and try to obfuscate and muddy the waters. That's what I noticed about these dudes. So when I see it now, I just use their same logic. I'm like, okay, how do you feel about Darin Ham? Well, what do you mean? Like, well, no, how do you feel about Darin Ham? Well, how's he a bad coach? I'm like, how does a bad coach go to the Western Conference Finals and he wins the Pup Cup? That's not making any sense. Well, I said, okay, so basically you're a hypocrite. Gotcha. Move on. Like, I don't take these dudes serious.
Yeah, it's like with Kevin Samuels. You know who Kevin Samuels is? You remember him?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the guys.
We talk about the signs. They try to use shame, insults, guilt, and they always got to be right. That's what they do. They try to shame you out of your opinion. They'll do that. I'm pretty sure AOH has faced the same thing. I'm sure you have faced the same thing where they sit there and try to say, "Oh, you're a white dude. How you gonna speak on this black dude?" Like, nah, bro. Don't even pay that attention.
But wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, the topic is, hating on a positive black man. Okay, awesome. Well, I don't hear them saying it because I know y'all remember this. Y'all remember when that meme came out, like alleging that Michael Jordan invested in private prisons, and all it took was a simple Google search to see that that was another gentleman who was a Caucasian man with the same name in Portland, Oregon. This is my thing. You don't even have to get into that. This is what I always ask. Michael Jordan's already a self-made billionaire. What does he have to gain by investing in private prisons?
Nothing.
I mean, I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that the media has dumbed you guys down to this extent that you would actually believe somebody that just created a meme and just put it out there? I'm like, wow. This is where society has brought us. Like AOH said earlier, Facebook, it's a bottomless pit for idiots. I mean, it's a platform for idiots out there. I'm like, this is madness.
Yeah.
It's an easy way out. I mean, it just shows that you aren't willing to put actual thought into your criticism. Just try and make somebody feel racist, or that they're, I don't know.
I'm half white,
self-haters and all that. I don't understand. And I'm like, dude, what is positive? Tell me the positive things of this person. Like, don't we all have, even if I'm the most positive person in the world, I'm gonna have negative aspects about me. There's gonna be things about me that can improve, or characteristics about me, ways about me that I need to change in order for growth. Y'all want to sit there and tell us that this is why LeBron hasn't grown, because he got yes men just like you telling him everything he does is great. He shits gold. That's what y'all basically are telling him. He's positive. Oh, there's a lot of dudes that do positive, but don't sit there. That doesn't take away from the negativity. Like with Ray Rice, when Ray Rice did what he did and they got it on video, he did a lot of positive. But does that take away from the fact that what he did was wrong?
Nope.
That's what y'all trying to tell us. Oh, because this person does so much good, we can't say anything about any negative things. He can go slap your mama right now, but as long as he's donated to charities and giving to cancer patients, you can't say anything about him. That's
bro, Chris Rock said it best. You're getting what is it? You're getting congratulated for shit you're supposed to be doing. That's why people get tired of hearing, oh, LeBron's a great father. Oh, that's cool. So am I. So are a lot of dads. Why does it have to be brought? Oh, wait, because you can't talk about basketball that much. You have to talk about how he's a good father and how he gives, and that's great. That's cool. I'm sure all four of us do great things, but nobody brings that shit up during my next job review. They don't say, oh, Matt, you're a good dad. Here's an extra $10,000 a year. Like, it doesn't work that way in the real world. You know what I mean? And the race thing is low hanging fruit. And to me, it's like, it kind of, I don't know if it started with Stephen A, but Stephen A's been on that bullshit most of his career. 2 Live Stews from the back, they were always on their bullshit.
How many shows does Stephen A have to include the as a black man before he goes into his thing?
It doesn't matter what he's on. He could be on fucking Jeopardy.
Don't talk about it as a black man.
He'll be on Jeopardy talking about as a black man.
He says it so much that it's like, bro, we get it. Like, you don't have to continue to say this. Like, when you have to constantly regurgitate that, that's telling me you have an ulterior motive. So now I'm looking at, what is your end game by saying that? I mean, seriously.
Low-hanging fruit. Who's got it?
Well,
It's
right.
the easiest thing. Easiest
Right.
thing.
You say it enough times, he's the one that made me start to wonder. I'm like, wait a minute, was this dude raised in Beverly Hills and is ashamed of his all-white school that he went to? Because why does he have to say this every single time? It was his fault that I started wondering why the fuck he said it every time.
It's just ridiculous. Why you gotta tell us
his fault.
as a woman, as an African, as a this, like, dude,
See,
why you have to,
see,
as a
when you're-
human being? This
Right.
is my opinion. Then,
Right.
When you
Like,
say that, it's like you're already setting that narrative up. So, like you said, I would say this: those Jedi mind tricks, it works on the simple-minded. So when you preface it that way, now it's like, oh, wait, what is he about to say? It's like, bro, that's unnecessary, man. Just get to the point. But
well, remember LeBron's explanation for why Draymond's words were so hurtful to him as a father, as a husband. It just was a little bit too far. Like
He
the
called me a
entire
bitch. I
NBA
can't
isn't
take it.
full of fathers and husbands that get called a bitch on a
He's
daily
the only
basis.
one. He's the best one. AOH. You didn't know that?
I see a caller keeps falling in and out. I'm not ignoring you, but you keep falling in and out. So if you wanted to,
yeah, it's the ultimate guilt trip. You see women women on shows do that. They try to bring up, oh, as a woman, I was offended by this, as if you speak for all women. Like, I understand certain things can be offensive. I can understand that there's certain lines that we shouldn't cross. But when you lead by that, sometimes some things are personal. Just be honest with it. You offended me. I don't like when you do that. I don't have to bring in the whole entire race to tell you that you offended me. Because if you didn't offend the entire race, you might have just offended me. I don't speak for every black man on this planet or every male on this planet. It's offended me. So
there's
be,
a lot
We
of
do it
I
to
wish
ourselves.
people would just be honest
Phenomenal.
about that.
As a race, black people, we do it to ourselves. It's that crabs in the bucket mentality.
Yep.
Let one of us make it big, and someone's gonna find a reason to tear them down.
Yep. Because
It's just within the black community.
Yeah,
there's a lot of virtue signaling with the younger generations now too. Like they think that they are doing something virtuous by sitting on social media and pointing out when other people make a mistake or say something that isn't quite right. And unfortunately, it's coming from people who might be the most disingenuous people that have ever existed. I mean, this is your actual contribution to society, sitting here analyzing words when you're probably having horrible thoughts in your head.
Oh,
I mean, if we really were this hateful towards each other, there would be nobody that would make it. Obviously, there are plenty of guys. Michael Jordan had plenty of black coaches, and he had his father, and he had black men, his teammates. Like, we have plenty of people that support each other. We do. I think that perpetuates this negative stigma that we just don't want to see nobody win, because if that's the case, we wouldn't root for anybody. We wouldn't go out there and buy Jordan sneakers. We wouldn't go out there and support anybody. That doesn't mean you can't have criticisms of them. Just because I'm married to my wife don't mean she can't say anything to me. That doesn't mean she can't be critical of me or vice versa. Just because you love somebody or you support somebody, you still have a duty to point out when they're doing things that are not up to par. And these dudes had no problem tearing up past greats that are black. You had no problem tearing down Michael Jordan and Bill Russell and making fun of Will Chamberlain and all these other dudes. They're also black. They're our elders. They set the foundation. There's a level of respect that should come. So
Your
if we
rich
don't talk
cousin.
about the black community, talk about everybody. We got to have respect. There's a certain level of decorum that we should have towards each other. But you sitting there calling me every name but a child of God in the comment section for an opinion.
Yeah, it's like Sports Talk said. He hit the nail on the head. He said it's the ball players and the rappers are now the new preachers, and yes, they are diabolically misguiding the masses. I had to just throw that in there because I had to put a little bit more emphasis. But you're absolutely right. But there's another thing I wanted to speak on, the hating on a positive black man. A lot of people don't know this because, again, Michael Jordan does not look for validation from the outside world. There was a former convict who committed a heinous act during his teenage years, right, by the name of Larry Miller. A lot of people don't know about him. Michael Jordan hired him at the Jordan brand, in which he was employed from 97 to 16 till he ultimately retired. So look at that time span from 1997 to 2016. This man was working under the Jordan brand. But again, Nobody says that. Like Michael, wait, all I hear is, well, Michael Jordan, what does he do? What does he do? I'm like, have you even looked him up? Have you researched him? He's done a lot of great things if you just go research the things he's done. But see, this is what they want. They want Michael Jordan to just get this. He want to get a podium, get all the media, and just grandstand on the stage and say, hey, everybody, look at me. No, because when you're doing that, your intentions aren't pure. Just like Dennis Rodman, another one. Every time they went to Boston, Dennis Rodman would buy out Toys R Us. No media. No, y'all not allowed. Bring all the kids in here. Just let them get the toys. I don't want all of that gratification and all that. No, I don't need all of that. And see, those are the guys that I look up to. When you're doing it out the kindness of your heart versus self-aggrandizement and trying to be validated, nah, man, I'm not with all that.
Yeah, the Bible talks about that too. Do things in private, and the Lord will reward you openly. If you do things openly, that's your reward, and that's what these guys are doing. That's why I say a lot of things about LeBron James is fraudulent. He does it for his own glory. He keeps telling you this every time he gets in front of a camera. He shows you who he is, and when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them. Believe them. Just like he did a kid. The little kid wanted to take a picture. Now, what type? No, real quick. What type of role model? What example are you setting? It's not like it's 8 of them. It's one little kid that wanted to take a picture with you. You shun him just so you can just walk 5 more steps and get all your praise from your minions, and you do this little funky dance looking like a robot with a back problem. I'm like, really? I'm like, wow, you can't take one picture with this kid, but you can't wait to get over here so people can just praise you and your fake crown on your head. Like, come on, man.
That's like been MJ. These fanboys would have been like, see, I told you. That's what they pick and choose. That's why I say y'all disingenuous. It's not about the positive black man. It's the one that you love. I'm attacking the love of your life. Your idol.
No, they're not gonna like that.
Worship.
Yeah,
they're not gonna like that. That's gonna strike a nerve, because that is the love of their lives. The way they just fight. Like I don't fight for anything hard that I don't love. That's why I'm casually up here talking to you guys.
Me neither. Hey, Speen, I say it all the time. I'm like, bro, do y'all even defending y'all family members like this? I see these dudes be on social media all day long defending the man that don't know you exist. I'm like, wow.
That's such a good point.
Yeah,
man.
And this dude literally threatened my life. He wanted to fight. He said, I'm gonna kill you when I see you over LeBron. I said, I would never go fight or kill nobody behind Michael Jordan. I don't give a damn. I might think he's the greatest, but it's not worth it. I'm not about to fight you in a physical altercation or take your life because you don't think Michael was the GOAT. That's stupid. But these guys are serious. They will literally run up on you or want to see you behind LeBron James. I'm like, do you know how sick that is? Do you even love God that much? Do you even love your family that much that you're willing to lay down your life over a disagreement? Not because I'm threatening this man, he's 6'9", 260, and I'm gonna go beat him down and you gotta save his life. No, because I have an opinion about him. This is ridiculous. I would never ever do that for any other man that I don't know. These guys, I like their talent or whatever, but I'm not about to die behind them or an opinion. You know how sick you sound?
They need mental health.
If you get knocked out and put in the hospital, you think LeBron's gonna call you, send you a get well card?
Hell no.
Phenomenon, you brought up.
He can't read or write. Like, this is ridiculous.
Phenomenon, you brought up the Bible.
Myself, but I'm not about to go out my way to go see you behind this. This is stupid.
Were you watching that week, Phenomenon, since you brought up the Bible when we were talking about LeBron's fake humbleness? And I had a childhood, I had a childhood memory where my dad had to tell me, it's like, no, if you're gonna give, you give from your heart. You don't show off for everyone. Yep. It was like the first time I was giving offering in church, and I worked hard for that 50 cents I was putting in, but I was ready to show it off. And he's like, no, you don't do that. But I remember literally Rachel Nichols talking about how humble LeBron James was opening up that school during a TV show that they planned to talk about LeBron James opening up the school. Like, you can't get any more full of shit than that.
The Jedi mind tricks they play, man, it's crazy, man. It's the oxymoron of it all.
Listen,
like the irony. You sit there and tell us you're not doing something while doing the very thing you tell. I never flop. I need to learn how to kick my head back. Dude, we got whole compilation videos of you literally kicking your head back. What are you talking about? Hey, like that's the ultimate gaslighting.
Real
Hey,
quick, it's
hey,
deeper than
AOH.
that.
Yeah.
Let me get this up real quick. It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
The only time you see LeBron doing one-on-one anything is in movies, right? So I watched the bullshit House Party remake. This man's crossing dudes up and driving to the land. I'm like, yo, you don't do that in the fucking game. I'm watching the Space Jam remake. He's doing all this bullshit. I'm like, it's literally just a video, an ode to him. That the entire Space Jam remake is just a Nike commercial. So it's not even just basketball. It's everything that he's involved in somehow highlights something that's great about him. Even that bullshit Trainwreck movie. Actually, that wasn't that bad. He plays basketball in that stupid ass movie. There's no context for it at all.
When
But
I
he's
was
in there
learning
dunking and
about
showing off.
when I was learning about his different companies, I found out that one of his companies actually funded that terrible Space Jam 2 movie. That was
Oh,
his
so bad.
idea.
It was his
So
idea.
was House Party.
Yeah.
The movies
Wow.
is trash.
They're
But they
trash.
all are to glorify him. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, he copies he literally said, I don't know if you heard that Uncommon Sense, you saw that Uncommon Sense video where the dude said that LeBron told him he wanted to erase Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
Yeah.
And I already knew
They
this.
said,
And I
good luck,
remember
young
this dude
fella.
named Chronicles of Judah was talking about this years ago about
Yeah.
LeBron having that envy and wanting to replace him. He does.
Yeah.
Not by his basketball play though.
Hey, so
He
AOH,
can't.
this is the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
When they started building that school, if you just go back, it was already in the works in 2016. Like they had the blueprints and the schematics, right? So it was already set to be completed by what? When did they release it? Was it June or July of 2016? So no, not 16. I'm sorry, 18. He already had it in the works, but here, watch how it lines up. That was going to be his parting gift. He was already going to leave Cleveland. And here's why. Kyrie Irving had already got the win of LeBron trying to trade him, like seriously trying to orchestrate Chris Paul or either what's his name? Was it Eric Bledsoe? Yeah. They were either going to try to get him or Chris Paul and package it with Paul George. Now, the only thing they wanted LeBron to do, David Griffin and Dan Gilbert, they were like, hey, LeBron, we just need you to sign a long-term extension. LeBron said no. Okay, well, we got to use deductive reasoning here. You want us to trade Kyrie to get Chris Paul and Paul George, but you don't want to sign an extension. Okay, so you're going to leave. Remember, he only signed a one-year deal. So I'm like, okay. Now it all makes sense why Kyrie was like, no, I want to be traded. I'm gonna get it. Nah, this dude ain't finna keep trying to trade me, and I'm helping you win these championships. Cool. But I'm like, wait a minute. So they started the planning for that school in 2016. He was already gonna leave in 2018. But see, he understood he couldn't leave the same way he did in 2010. So now let me leave you with a departing gift. Yeah, this is gonna be a school. I care about education, and yeah, all the kids are gonna get free lunch, blah, 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 blah. You knew you was leaving. So you had
with murals of yourself.
Exactly.
Like I've never seen anything. And that's why I wasn't surprised when he went to LA. I actually had said he was going to LA before he went because I was like, where's the place with the most vainest people can go? He's going to LA. I'm like, he going there to glorify himself. He gonna try to take Kobe's spot, just like he tried to take over Jordan's spot. He's trying to replace these guys. It's one thing to copy somebody's game or to aspire to be the best that you can be, or to be the greatest on your own merits and rules. This dude literally took this dude's number, Space Jam 2. He's literally trying to erase this man from history. And he's using the media and all these things. You could tell that was his whole agenda. But the thing about the energy you put out there, eventually it is going to come back on him.
Oh yeah.
It eventually is going to backfire on him because when you put negative stuff out there, think about all these dudes that flew under the radar, R. Kelly and all these other guys that been P. Diddy, ain't no party like a Diddy party. And all these guys that came out there and did these nefarious things for years. Eventually, when you put out all that negativity, karma is going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
You're hating on
It may be at
profitable
your dying days.
Especially if you're not profitable. And that's what's happening to him now. That's why all this stuff's coming to light. Because he's
caller's last chance. Caller's last chance. I'll put the link up again. We'll probably wrap this up pretty soon. I saw someone in the comments saying, it's people who are under 30 defending, that want to fight to the death over someone they've never met
Oh,
before.
no, that's false. That's false. It's guys in their 40s and 50s that's doing the same thing. And
Oh,
it's,
Oh yeah,
no.
it's some old dudes. There's some old
it's
dudes out there
mind-blowing.
doing it too.
Like you know what? Just to be fair, I expect the younger generation to do it because they don't know any better. I expect it, but when I see the guys from my generation, born in the 80s and upwards, like, bruh, did you forget who we've already witnessed? And y'all are really trying to put forth this notion and make me believe that this guy is better than two guys who outperformed him at every facet of basketball. I'm like, you know what? Let's agree to disagree. I don't even want to waste my time.
Yeah, it's like I tell people. I was like, so you mean to tell me a guy that y'all trying to tell me is top 10 playing with another top 10 player is better than Nikola Jokic is better than both of them combined? Because who's his top 75 player?
Nobody.
Who's his guy that's on that level? Why y'all ain't crying for him having more help? It's crazy to me. Y'all sit there, and that's why I told him. I said, y'all watch Michael Jordan get bounced in the first round. Didn't have Scottie Pippen. But y'all forget that. But let that have been LeBron. Now he don't have enough help. He can't get out the first round with the team. This dude had Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, Carmelo Anthony. All these guys are top 75 or Hall of Fame, bona fide Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famers. And he missed the playoffs. But y'all say he's still balling like he's 25 years old.
No.
That's because he was hurt.
No. You misquoted. He missed the play-in tournament. He didn't miss the playoffs. He didn't even get to the play-in tournament.
Even with Adam Silver trying to help him make the playoffs with the play-in tournament, still couldn't pull it off.
How long is Adam Silver's contract, man? Dude's got to go.
He just negotiated a massive extension.
He's gonna be around like Madden.
Yeah,
he's gonna be around like EA Sports.
Did you see him in the stands in France? I was like, where the fuck is Renfield to get that guy some blood?
Yeah.
I see not many people are gonna get that reference in the chat, but we get it.
Yeah, they're not gonna get it. No.
All right, guys. I guess we should wrap it. We might do some rescheduling, or maybe I'll keep this going without Robin. But I appreciate y'all coming on. Let's see. Hoop God wants Phenomenal's email. I don't want you to say it out loud on here. I'll connect you too. And Phenomenon, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey,
thanks again for the opportunity.
Hey, Spin, what software did you use for your YouTube video? Like to do
Filmora.
Okay. Hey, I may need your assistance with that because I've been getting into my breakdowns. What I've been doing, I've been using like the little CapCut feature, but I need to use one where I can actually like commentate as the video's playing, where I can like pause and play.
You were the one who put me on CapCut actually, and that works great for the phone. But yeah, no, just hit me. I can talk through whenever.
That'll work. But yeah, hey, Phenomenal Fitness. I drop your email, man, because there's some other stuff I want to rap to you about.
All right, AOH, just send him my email. Send it to him.
Got it. Gentlemen, have a great day. Thank viewers.
All right,
thank
gentlemen.
You.
All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
No doubt. Peace.